Hello, everybody, and welcome to a very, very special Sunday Funday! Yay! I am so excited to be here, regardless of all the crazy things that I have been through this morning. As you can see, I am not in my usual Sunday Funday setup. I also am sans jug because MomoCon told me I cannot drink in their booth. Not alcohol or coffee, so this will be a fun, a very interesting Sunday Funday. But for all of you out there in chat, thank you all so much for already being here, for bringing the hype. So let's just get started. So first things first, like I said, I'm really super stoked to be here, and here is in fact MomoCon, which is a animation, and gaming convention that Atlanta hosts. They're in their 15th year. I'm a huge supporter of what they do, and they were kind enough to think that I'm legitimate enough to stream from their floor. So I'm actually in one of their live booths. If you hear some of the echo behind me, it's actually the activities and things going on. MomoCon has a huge hangar that they repurpose into basically a giant arcade. So there are tons of arcade games. There's a tabletop section. You can head over to my Twitter. I did a little bit of like a live video this morning showing off from an aerial perspective. So yeah. Oh, thanks for that follow. So I'm really, really, really excited to be here. And not only am I streaming from a new location, this is the first time that MomoCon has ever had a tabletop RPG streamed from their live from their floor. So we're also setting a new standard today, which I hope they will like it enough to let me come back and do it again next year. And because we have to do one more new thing, we are actually not playing D&D today. As much as I love D&D, I'm excited to announce that we are actually going to be playing an Evil Hat Production game called The Breakfast Cult. And these 6 willing volunteers are allowing me to play test it with them, because it is definitely an interesting little tabletop game. So if you have watched The Breakfast Club, you're going to get some hints towards that. But this is our more kind of Cthulhu cult, futuristic, if you would, game. So like I said, I'm very, very excited. This uses Fate Accelerated. So you guys know I'm a huge Fate Core fan. Fate Accelerated is an even simpler, quicker way to start up a Fate game. If you've never played Fate, this is lowest hanging fruit, people. You can hop and dive right in. More importantly, this will be, hopefully, an ongoing campaign. So every Sunday Funday we'll run a D&D, and then every Sunday Funday we'll run a breakfast cult. So if you want to get some Fate into your gameplay time, you can actually do that. And I believe there are a couple slots still left for June, and then July, August, and September will be coming out here in the next couple weeks. So I think that's all the big major announcements. Please know that you can hang out with me after we finish our game today at 1:30. I'm going to let these killer people go, and then I'm going to spend the last 30 minutes talking MomoCon hype and what I've seen and the panels that I've set on and all the cool fun stuff. And I thought I'd also do a recap, since I was at D&D Live last weekend, and talk a little bit about my D&D Live experience, who I saw, the embarrassing things I said, and yeah, so we're going to go through all of that. I did have a chance to sit down actually with Celts while I was in California, which was really cool. I got to meet his daughters. They're wonderful, so sweet. And we had breakfast, and it was really great. So I have a lot to talk about, obviously. The last 3 weeks of my life have been just a chaotic hellstorm. So I'm very, very excited to be back here, doing something that I know and I love. I think that's the big stuff. If we have any audio issues, you guys please let me know. Only because, like I said, this is not my rig, and I'm setting everything up new. As it currently stands, I have yet to capture the Roll20. I'm working on that, so we'll be doing that as we go live. So let's just dive right on in here, because I'm really excited about this, and I really just want to get started. So let me pop open my Roll20 here. Oh, I should probably pause that. Okay, there we go. Let me pop up my Roll20 and we'll get going. So what we're going to do is let everybody go around first. This does take place in a futuristic high school, so everybody's going to introduce themselves, like literally who you are. If you would like, please let us know your pronouns and how you would like to be addressed. And also tell us who your character is. Now, I gave them a very special prompt because we got a Witch Girls Adventure campaign. We're going through school. I don't care about that for this. I want to know how they got into detention. This game is going to take place on a Sunday at this school called a Cultar Academy. And at a Cultar Academy, these 6 unlucky high schoolers have done something to land themselves in a Sunday detention. And they're going to tell us what exactly they did. So we're going to just start at the top. And Theater Nerd, you are up. So tell us who you are, who you're playing, and how you wound up in detention.
My name is Theater Nerd. My pronouns are they, them. I am playing the macabre international student, because I am only assuming that this is set in an island somewhere in the United States.
True.
I'm actually playing Petra Blauhausen. For them as well. They are a German international student, and as soon as Dot in her video said, "Don't look at the stuff beneath the academy," I'm drawn to it, so therefore my character is going to be trying to have snuck into the basement or whatever is underneath the academy.
I see. You got caught sneaking into the basement.
Yeah, I couldn't talk themselves out of it.
Oh, you cannot. That is definitely one. Yeah, there is some things in the basement that nobody is supposed to know about. So this, that's not good. And it probably means you're also being watched now. So congratulations, you're being watched.
You lock me on an island, that's what you get.
That's what you get. Yeah, awesome. Moving right along to our right, Paladin Hulk.
Hi everybody. I'm Paladin Hulk. I'm a Twitch moderator for Little Red Dot and Random Tuesday, as well as Geek Space TV, but sadly that's closed. And today, lost the voice. There we go. I'll be playing Bram, and I am a muscle-bound goat herder from far away. And why did I get into detention? This is something new. I don't get sent to detention ever. I am a good boy. But one day, when I was talking to my classmates about how much I love goats, they tell me, "I have never seen a goat, Bram." And I am saying, how can this be? How can you live a life that will never have a goat in it? I will solve this for you, my friend. I will bring a goat to school. And so I did. But the headmaster says, "You cannot bring a goat to school." But clearly I did, right? It is right there. And then I got sent to detention. I don't know what is wrong. I said I would clean up the poop, but this was not good enough. I got this because it is not in detention.
You cannot have goats in school. I'm sure that's exactly what the headmaster said, to your confusion.
What about an emotional support goat? You're gonna tell him he can't have his emotional support?
His emotional support goat. Well, the real question is, has he been through the training to be an emotional support goat? I need to see paperwork on this. I love it. And moving right along to somebody else that you may have seen here on the channel before. I have people walking up to this window and waving. Hi, Zach. Zach, who you guys may know both from the North by Northwest podcast, he runs all the tabletop gaming for MomoCon. So it's his like big thing. So he's here. You guys have probably also seen him in the Discord. So he just walked by. Cool. Where was I? Oh, yes! A face you have probably seen and a voice you have probably heard on the Discord again. Welcome, Colonel RPG.
Hi, I'm Colonel RPG. My pronouns are he, him. And I am playing Tygo, who is a goofy and just fun-loving sort of... He doesn't really like magic. He was found to be inclined toward the occult, and he's in this academy because his parents can afford this academy. It's a fancy one, I hear.
It is.
And last weekend he was supposed to do an assignment, sort of homework thing, and he didn't do it. So this weekend he's in detention, and he just refuses to do homework. So that's
he's just your basic high schooler.
Yeah, pretty much.
I still refuse to do homework.
I must say I based Tygo on myself, so.
I love it so much. Yeah, yeah, I feel like I actually have one of my old high schoolers in chat right now. So I just want everybody to know, I know what it's like to look at a high schooler that's like, I didn't do my homework. Right, Julian? Cough, cough. Yeah, awesome. And moving right along, some other faces you may or may not know. And I'm gonna say this wrong. I've said it 3 times, and I've said it differently each time. Quixotic? Quixotic. Okay, so I had a bet last night while I was highly inebriated as to how to say it with my friends. So you should know I lost that bet.
Hey, I've heard people say quick stoic, so it's all right.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I'm Quixotic. I'm playing Callum Digby Wentworth today. He is the typical class clown. I'd say everyone probably knows him. Does everybody like him? I don't know. You know, his family has been involved with Occult-Tar Academy since its founding, so it's kind of a legacy. He's just
okay,
but he's not really into it. He's more interested in goofing off and causing problems. And he's in detention because you all know Professor Walder, right? He's doing his usual thing where he tells class that there's no stupid questions, and then when someone asks a question, he yells at them for asking a stupid question. So I couldn't just let that go. So I drew a little swarm of mini dragons. They popped off the page and they chased him around the room.
Oh, fantastic! That is definitely one way to get in trouble. Yeah, and I guess we'll learn a little bit more about that special little power you have there of things coming off the page. I'm sure after that they made you use computers only. They probably gave you like a school-issued tablet that was like, no drawing for you. Awesome. And again, somebody else that is a pretty big regular here on the Dot Lot, Kelt.
Good morning. I am Celts, or the Celts. I am going to be playing Ray Stillin. He spends pretty much every weekend in detention. He doesn't really have much of a life outside. This is kind of like his social weekly gathering that he gets. So he's always got new friends every week, you know. But he kind of has a way with computers. So pretty much anytime something happens with any of the school's computers, they kind of come to me and give me the third degree. But this particular Sunday, I was caught pretty red-handed. I've been changing. I'll change grades. I'll change class schedules. Pretty much anything students may want done with their record, I kind of make that happen for them. So, yeah, I'm kind of like the go-to scapegoat for anything technology, for any technology issues that happen at the school. So, kind of like a techno troublemaker.
Right. All right. A techno troublemaker. I like that. Can we get that on a t-shirt? I'd like that on a t-shirt. I'd like that on a t-shirt, please. Awesome. And last but certainly not least, another face that is definitely a regular on this channel, Anarch Dovey.
Hello, I'm Anarch Dovey. I use she and her pronouns. And I will be playing Aino Numme. She comes from Finland, and she was brought here when her abilities of switching minds among with the animals was discovered. And
possibly with a goat now. There's a canon goat, who knows?
Yeah, Aino is a bit of a free spirit. She prefers to be her own on her own, but she just does like to meet new people, but she hates crowds. And the reason she was sent to detention was because she started a campfire on the school grounds and trying to make soap.
So I feel like we have a group of pyrotechnics and animal lovers, which is a very strange combination. Well, like I said, I am very excited to be bringing this game here today. If you are new to this channel, please go ahead and follow up at the top. When you do so, you'll always know when we go live. Here on the Dot Lot, I am all about telling stories. So no matter whether I'm playing a video game or talking with you, or we're rolling dice in a tabletop RPG, we are always telling stories. So if you want to get in on this story we're telling today, you can do that by donating. You can give bits to help fill up this little drama star. You'll see it right there that we have. When the star fills, thanks to bits, drama ensues. Pretty simple. We are, in fact, in a John Hughes style high school experience, which means that drama is always afoot. So definitely help us out by donating bits. You can also simply support by, you know, giving other ways. Let me see, hang on. If you support and donate, there we go. If you support and donate through other than bits, make sure to DM me directly. Fate is a little different than D&D. There's no deck of many things to pull from. There's no advantage, disadvantage. It's a very heavy storytelling. So give me an idea. You wear the DM pants. They're pretty fancy, I'll be honest. Except usually they're just pajama pants, so at least mine are. But you get to wear the DM pants for a minute, and you can tell me what you are interested in adding to the story. Let's see. I think that's about it, and so we'll hop in. So this game takes place in a very, very interesting setting, okay? In a place called the Occultar Academy. Now, the year, okay, is 2097, I believe. Yeah, 2097, okay? This is the age of information. Kindergartners all have iPads, okay? They get their first social media profile. It is the way of the future, all right? This means that technology is heavily integrated. And more importantly, because of the advancements in technology in the future, we have also tapped into occult magics, which are highly dangerous. And the government is not interested in letting the general populace know that this is going on. So anybody that shows any sign of interest or, oh, we got that first stream there of bits. I saw those come through. Thank you, thank you. Our drama star begins to fill. Let's actually put that back there. There we go. So the government is really interested in keeping this hush-hush. So they have hired and created a special group called the Foundation. And the Foundation is hired by the government to manage students and young people that show acclamation toward occult magics. Hence the 6 of these.
I have never done magic. I don't know what you are talking about.
Good. You should keep saying that, because when you do magic, the government begins to watch you. And the easiest way for them to watch you is to isolate you on an island where you all go to an exclusive high school. Ooh, thank you for that subscriber rank up. Thank you, thank you. As a subscriber, you get access to all kinds of little things. Like, you know, my face in weird ways. Like this one. There's my weird face. So, it's a very interesting time. Okay? Now, occult science is kind of science with the gloves off, okay? We have the basics of magic principles, or science principles there, but it's definitely integrated with something that we don't understand. Aliens have begun to show up on our planet, another thing that is being kept hush-hush. Paranormal activity is rampant. And so, the 6 of you are definitely, well, especially after what you just said, being watched. So this makes what we call the Weird Age, the age after we have learned of occult magics, a fantastic time of progress, okay? The world's energy crisis have been solved, hunger issues have been solved, but the government is still trying to control this. Now, more importantly, some odd things have been happening recently at Occultar Academy. Students have been going missing. One student in particular, the kind of, I guess you could say, popular girl, has disappeared. We don't know where, and they don't want to talk about it at all. The school will not talk about it, okay? So these are some things just, I guess, to know, okay? Before we hop in, let's see, anything else? We will be using Fate Accelerated, which uses a system called Fudge Die. Unfortunately, this computer is having a huge problem capturing my Roll20 window, which I'm working on. So for now, we're going to be calling our rolls out. In Fate, average rolls are between -2 and 8. They use something called Fudge Dies, which are 6-sided die that have pluses and minuses on them, as well as a blank side, and you simply add them all together. So everybody here is new to Fate Accelerated, myself included. I usually run Fate Core, so today is a learning experience for all of us. Please be patient as we are learning. Cool. I think that's all the big stuff. Cool. Let's hop right in. So, the 6 of you sit inside of the Occultar Academy Library. Of course, where else would they hold detention on a Sunday? Plus, with the strange activities that have been happening in and out of the school, it is important that they isolate you. Classrooms are a bit too isolated. The library means that somebody is always watching you at some point. And the feeling of eyes are never too far. The 6 of you sit there. You have each checked in for whatever reason.
Is it still a normal library with books? Since it's such a technology high thingamahoozle?
That is, yeah. That's actually a really good question. So there is definitely a lot of technology here. You've got some computers, you've got a lot of touch screens that are like built into the wall, but they have actually isolated you guys to normal desk. There are still books in this library, but many of the books have high technology, meaning you open them and the projector screens, like they're holographic screens, they do a lot of the searching for you. It has the feeling of an old library, but basically as a front for the amount of technology that is actually here.
I'm just gonna be looking up the news about sports right now. I'm a big basketball fan. I'm just gonna stay here, checking the internet. We have access to the internet, right?
You do have access to the internet at the definitely at the moment. You do. Mm-hmm.
Aino will be just leaning on a back from a chair and sets her hat, which is quite tattered. It has this big, huge feather. It has this metallic shine to it.
Oh, interesting.
And it has this sort of scarf tied into the brim of the hat.
Oh, okay.
And places the hat on her face and tries to sleep.
Tries to sleep. As each of you check sports, kind of begin to doze off, the sound of wooden heels on marble floor begin clicking down the hallway. You know this sound because each of you heard it before you got in trouble and were put in detention. The headmaster walks in. The kind of a broad-shouldered gentleman. Age has not necessarily been kind to him. It could also be the fact that working in education is not often kind to those that age. And he walks in with this heavy mustache that hides a constant frown upon his face. He slams a book on the table as to startle all of you if you're not already paying attention. And he kind of as if to make sure you're all listening.
Good morning, Headmaster.
He scowls at you behind matching furrowed brow that looks like a second mustache.
Where is my goat? Did you take care of him?
You have a goat?
What? Yes, of course I have a goat.
You will no longer have goats on this campus. I told you, this is a goat-free zone.
Why would you make such a rule? It is only creating suffering for poor children who have no goats.
We are not suffering here. He kind of looks around. Your goat must stay outside, where goats
Did you
belong.
just let him go and wander into traffic?
He kind of laughs, knowing that you guys are on an isolated island, a very small one, in fact. So there's very few. There are a few things in town, but all in all, it's kind of like a private island that they keep you isolated to and locked in on. There are actually probably random goats here. Some of the local, maybe villagers, have some goats, and you guys would have both at like a greenhouse and an outdoor like agricultural area where you would learn. So they probably took your goat friend and added it to the rest of the like barnyard animals that the school owns.
Don't worry, man.
The goat-free zone.
The goat inside is a goat-free zone.
Don't worry, I'll draw you a new goat.
Oh, thank you for those bits. Or I'll draw you a new goat.
What I'm envisioning, you know how on some schools there's a sign that says this is a drug-free zone?
Correct.
Instead of this being a drug-free zone, I see the sign saying this is a goat-free zone.
Basically.
And of course, they're brand new signs.
Like,
Yeah.
brand new,
They,
the
were,
color
they
has
weren't there
changed.
before today, and they're just starting to pop up now.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man.
I know what I know is gonna do exactly after this.
Oh. All right. So he kind of scowls again at all of you. There we go. That's what I wanted. I needed that to update. Why isn't that updating automatically? Okay. So he says, now, today is a day for you to think about what it is you have done. I have eyes on you. He kind of makes that like, yeah, I have eyes on you.
Hey, mister, I sort of didn't do anything. That's kind of the point why I'm here. They tell me anyway.
Well, yes, that's kind of the point why you're here. Today, you are all going to do something. I have a special task for your weekend in detention, or your Sunday in detention.
If you need help, you come to Bra. I will help you. What is it you need, Mr. Headmaster?
He kind of takes a deep breath and he says, you're going downstairs.
That is it? Walk stairs? Ah, you bring Bram better challenge than walking stairs.
He goes, yes, Petra.
That's exactly the thing I did that got me in trouble.
Yes, Petra, I know. I'm asking all of you
you're
to...
rewarding me for trying to sneak in by letting me go down there?
I'm giving you permission to enter an old room that's going to need some files cleaned out. You're not to read the files. You're not to do anything but take them out back to the janitorial services, which are going to burn them.
So these are like paper files, like tangible.
Yes,
Paper.
hard paper files.
And we all have to go, or is there something else I can do instead?
Because no, everybody goes. Your punishment is to do some manual labor. I have a feeling it will do you all some good.
Don't worry, Ray. It's gonna be fine. I can help you out, man.
Yes, do not worry. I will do more work than 3 of you. So it will all turn out okay.
And Callum, I'm gonna need you to turn in all your pencils and pens, please.
What?
Your pencils
Fine.
and pens. And he
Fine.
kind of holds his hand out, this kind of, these big sausage fingers he has.
He quickly draws a mustache like the headmaster's on his own face.
Can
It-
can my character subterfugely grab a pencil somewhere?
Sure, yeah, go ahead and roll me the subterfuge. So this will be, yeah.
I know will be like shiftily like slides pencil towards.
Can I let Aino roll first?
Yeah, so Aino can roll first if you'd like to roll the first round of subterfuge. So we'll get our first roll here for all of you at home. What's going to happen is a base roll in Fate uses 4 fudge die. So this is like basically your D20 in Fate is 4 fudge die, and then any additional bonuses that they get to their 6 set of skills, which in Fate Accelerated has been very minimized down the skill set list. It's kind of grouped a little simpler and easier. So they're going to roll a subterfuge, which covers everything from sneaking to sleight of hand checks, those kind of things. So let's go ahead and get that.
So that's sneaky, right?
It will be a sneaky roll. Yep. And, there should be
no
a
bonuses.
if you filled it in your character sheet, there should be a little die next to it. When you click that, it will roll your bonuses automatically. So let's see how it goes. Beautiful. 2, not too bad. So that means that you rolled. Okay, yeah. He is currently taking pencils from Callum, which means that he's not looking at you. So out of 2, you're able to like slide a pencil across. Who are you sliding it to?
To Callum.
Nice.
No, Tycho.
Tygo. Yeah, even the little scraping of the pencil doesn't make any noise as you slide it across to Tygo. Tygo, also make a sneaky check to take it without being seen.
Can I?
Yes, can you?
Can I? One of my stunts is Petra likes to. It's called Rube Goldberg machine, or Rube Goldberg.
Okay.
So I think they were sitting there. They brought in a backpack full of random stuff, and we're tinkering with it.
Okay.
And I want to use my stunt to create a distraction and have it like basically just be a chain reaction of things that happen in hopes to distract the headmaster.
Headmaster. Okay, go ahead and roll that for me, because what happens is, as Tego goes to grab it, the pencil falls to hit the floor. So you can definitely create a distraction to try to cover the sound of the pencil tinging off the floor.
So I get a +2 to my cleverly.
Great. Cleverly. So if you hit the die right next to cleverly, as long as you have it in there, it should roll it right up for you. Let's see how we did. Ah, that is very good, considering the fact that you only got a 1. Wow. Okay, so you use your first fate point to activate this stunt, which is brilliant. You create the distraction necessary. Tell me how you do that.
So I think basically, like I said, there's just a backpack of stuff. So I think it's like literal mouse traps. So there's a mouse trap that sets something else off, that sets something else off, that somehow they connected to books and they cause a book to fall off nearby off of the shelf.
Yeah.
That's enough of a like distraction and or noise that the pencil is like nothing in comparison.
Yeah. So somewhere off in like another shelf, a book just like slides right off, making a loud thud noise that makes the headmaster actually jump as he reaches for these pencils from Callum, covering the pencil that has now like hit the floor, you know, ting ting ting, hit the floor. You guys successfully covered it. It's at your feet, Tego. Like the pencil is. He kind of like looks around and goes, who's back there? Hey! And he grabs the pencils, puts them in his pocket, his front pocket, and walks to the back of the library to deal with this situation. You guys have a few seconds outside of his earshot to have a quick conversation.
I follow the headmaster.
I pick up the
Supposed to get
I
up.
pick up the
Reading the sheet.
yeah, I pick up the pencil and hand it to what was the name?
Callum.
Callum. And
Okay.
and just hand it to Callum.
Callum, you may want to hide that.
Yep.
You do so pretty easily, because again, he's not really looking. You slide it in a pocket. He thinks he's already cleared out. Yeah, and it doesn't take long. He turns around after sliding the book back on the shelf. I'm sure you're like right hot on his heels.
Mm-hmm.
He turns and, very startled by the fact you're right behind him, he says, "What are you doing? You're in detention.
I
Sit
thought you
down."
might need help to apprehend dangerous book.
He
I
just
told him to
sighs.
stay in his seat. I told him to stay there.
I don't like to stay in one place for too long.
He sighs. All right. The 6 of you, gather your... actually, better yet, leave your things here.
I look at
We
my-
have any things,
I
except
look at
my gun.
my massive backpack. Like it's huge. Like it's it has pots, pans,
Nice.
and roll up tent and everything.
Okay.
So, where exactly is the headmaster? What direction is
So
he
if you picture the library kind of long and narrow with like double layers, so it's like a 3-story library, okay? It's open balconies. You guys
Okay.
are kind of in the center area. There's a series of tables there
Right.
in rows. He has walked behind you. And he's kind of turned around. He's talking to the back of what would be the back of your heads if you were facing forward.
So Petra is going to leave her backpack and hope that her ghost friend is invisible to attempt to bring them their backpack
Okay.
at some point. So I don't know if you want me to roll sneaky to have my ghost friend.
Yeah, I am gonna need a sneaky. We'll let your ghost friend have your stats. The ghost is not making
Okay.
itself known, right? Not corporeal in any way.
No.
Okay, great. Yeah, go ahead and just roll the sneaky because you're basically now it's a floating backpack.
Does my character see this?
You are all welcome. I believe there's a roll that you can make to kind of see. Let's see how sneaky. Go ahead and roll
I rolled
that
a
sneaky.
1.
A 1. Okay. At a 1, it's relatively sneaky. The good news is it stays low to the ground, but you all that are near the tables, if you are paying attention, I think maybe Brahm's the only one that doesn't see it because he's near the headmaster. This bag begins to like float from near the ground, away from the table, kind of behind the library stand that is empty, where the librarian would actually sit to check in books. It's kind of a U-shaped desk. And it kind of tucks around the corner. You hear it just at the end kind of slide on the floor, tucked very nicely right behind.
Did you guys see that?
And I'm gonna go get it.
He goes,
And I'm gonna bring it back.
What are you talking about? He turns. He goes,
Oh, I was just bringing them their book
He
bag
goes-
back.
Ray, is that right, Ray?
Mm-hmm.
Ray. He goes, Ray, the lost and found is back there. That is not your backpack. Put it back.
But it,
My character. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
okay,
Okay.
put it down.
My character is super spooked right now about the self-moving backpack.
Yep.
He doesn't like that.
You should all be a tiny bit spooked. Even though you're into occult stuff, you know that there's like the school's trying to train you on how to use it, but training you on how to use it so you don't use it. Basically, it's like control so that they can keep it on the DL. Things like this happen occasionally. Odd things move, stuff falls off shelves. But I don't know that you've ever seen a floating backpack. That's probably a first.
To me, that's about the same level as an iPad. Like they're both mysterious wonders I don't understand.
Right. And he looks right at Ray because he thinks that this is basically completely normal. So yeah, he says, "Go put it back, Ray. That doesn't belong to you. Somebody will claim it Monday." Thinking
just
that it's
gonna
come
kinda,
from Lost and Found.
Look at Petra like, what do you want me to do with this? This is your backpack, right? Okay. All right. Sorry.
As Petra tries,
I
like,
just pick up my backpack and put it on my back.
and he looks at all of you and is like, am I not speaking English? Leave your things and follow me downstairs.
The entire time he's doing that, because Callum drew the mustache that mimics the headmaster, he's just kind of,
Behind him.
yeah.
Ik kan niet verstaan.
All right. He kind of he turns and looks at all of you, and turns again on his heels and begins to walk out of the library. You realize there's toilet paper stuck to his shoe.
Sir, there is toilet paper stuck to your shoe.
He goes, "Oh, what? And he kind of reaches down and like bundles it up and tries to hide
You
it
should
from all
really
of
pay
you.
attention to what you're doing in there.
He goes, Rob, it is not polite to discuss other people's activities in the bathroom.
Going to the bathroom is perfectly normal. Everyone does it outside where I am from.
I am dead. This game is gonna be ridiculous. So he kind of again looks at you like, I have nothing to say to that because you're right, and I'm a teacher, and this is my life. And he's like, quickly, in a single file line, before it is too late and you don't get anything done today. And he leads all of you. Do you all follow?
I'm
Can I
gonna
try?
grab.
Yes.
I
Can
have
I
like
try to
3 cell phones that I'm gonna grab and start clipping them onto clips, like
Yeah.
on my belt, and then my tablet, and just kind of walk off.
Okay.
My my things, like when he says to leave your things behind, I left my bag, but my phones and my tablet come with me, like just like putting shoes on. So
Sure.
I
Okay.
like
Interesting.
grab those things and start to walk off where he's wanting us to go.
Okay.
I try to stick to Bram, but I don't say anything yet. I'm just right on his step as we leave. If we're leaving right now.
So, Petra is going to hold back to make sure her back or their backpack. Gosh, darn it! Their backpack follows them.
Okay. Yeah, so the backpack is like floating behind you unknowing to him. All right. So he leads you guys down. You know this school very well. Past the lockers, past the gymnasium, past the lunchroom. You do pass a janitor in the hallway who is actively mopping something up. Looks like maybe a spill.
I greet him by name. Hello.
His name is Jerry.
Hello, Jerry.
Jerry, yeah.
Are you having a good day?
He attempts to kind of step in front of whatever he is mopping up on the floor, as if to maybe partially block it from all of you. He makes direct eye contact with the headmaster. And they kind of make eye contact, and then he greets you. Well, hey there, he kind of says, as if most people don't stop to speak to him.
It's part of my thing.
It's just part of my thing.
As we walk by, Callum, just again, still mimicking the headmaster, looks to the custodians like.
He kind of like looks around as if everybody here is always being watched. So that's like not necessarily something new. But the headmaster
This
continues
is
to
such
click
a
by.
weird school greeting. Hello.
Hello,
I
I'm
see
watching you.
Do you see me?
I love it. Oh, anybody that is interested, you can make a, this is actually a clever check. If you would like to make a clever check to figure out what is being mopped up,
Of
you're
course.
welcome to do so.
I'm gonna try to snap a picture of it with my phone.
Okay. Oh, okay, that's actually going to be a sneaky check because you're not supposed to have your phone with you.
I
so
got a 5 on my clever check.
5 on your
I got
clever
3.
check. Okay, so anybody that got higher than a 2. The good news is it's clear. So this is not like blood or anything like that, and it will not be the first time you've watched the janitor mop up blood and it doesn't get talked about.
I got a 0.
Great.
I got a -3. What do I think of it?
You probably think the janitor has pissed himself and is mopping up his own pee. So you,
That's job security.
yeah. So the rest of you that rolled a 2 or higher, you realize that he's mopping up water. It seems to be water, but it's the way that it's kind of puddled, it seems like ice, that it's particularly cold. It's still kind of cracking around the edges, and that, like, you know, when it's super, super cold, it lets off that, like, frost off the top of it. He's kind of mopping it, but you can see he's hitting the top of ice as if he's trying to wear it down. There seems to be a puddle of cold here.
Do you need some
Definitely
help,
resolve
sir?
Completely wrong. Hang on.
Wouldn't it be
You-
easier to use some kind of bladed to crack it?
He kind of coughs. He's like, no. I'm just some warm water and salt, no big deal. And he's just like, he's a very simple gentleman. You can definitely tell. He's kind of mopping away, and you can see there's like, just iodized salt. And he does have a bucket next to him where the mop is going. That water seems to be warm. You can see
Come
the
on,
steam
folks.
rising from it.
You've
on,
got
folks,
this,
this
Jerry. Go get it.
Yeah, that's fine. Leave the men alone for right now.
Leave the man alone.
Keep up the good work, Jerry. Jerry the janitor.
So you guys continue as you hear that raspy cough once again from underneath the headmaster's mustache, as he is kind of tapping his foot impatiently, and he leads you down a long hallway towards the end of school where most of you will never go. I wouldn't say this is a blocked off area. It's just an older area of the school. The trophy room is down here. You kind of like pass a lot of these trophy cabinets. The
These old
archives.
trophies?
Wooden, you said?
Old
Oh,
trophies.
some of them are new. You guys are not the only like occult academy that is run by the Foundation. This just happens to be the most elite and established one, with the largest student body.
Can I make a check to see if any of those trophies, just at a glance, are sports related?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, go ahead. That's actually just to the naked eye. That's just a basic, like you walk past, you're kind of looking. Quite a few of them are sports related. Soccer seems to be the sport of choice, but there is quite a few football trophies as well. And you guys know that not only has the head cheerleader gone missing, but so has the head football player, Chet. They call him the Toaster.
I should put my trophy for food in the contest here.
Yeah, you actually
Great, right there.
you actually see his picture. You know, they have kind of like an MVP section. Chet's picture is there. Let's see if I can actually show this to you guys. I can show it to you guys. There he is. Of course, the school colors are purple. But there's Chet, the Toaster Wilson. And Chet is, he's a lovable guy. He's actually not like a bully. There are a fair share of other bullies here, but Chet's not one of them. He seems to be one of the nicer of the few. But he has also gone missing over the last few weeks. But his picture, almost in an eerie way, with his thumbs up, football under one arm, smiling, next to the trophy that the varsity team won last year against another one of the schools.
Can I just stay behind looking at the trophies while everybody leaves? If everybody's gonna leave, I'm gonna just stay.
Yeah, you can definitely trail behind. The headmaster doesn't seem to be walking behind you guys. He's just expecting you to follow, which is his mistake.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna not purposely, just sort of because I'm interested in the trophies, I'm gonna forget where we're going and just stay behind and separate myself from the group if I can do that.
Yeah, sure. We'll say that you lag behind a little bit. You can see where they're going because he enters a room at the end of this hallway, which is probably it has a sign on it that says archives.
Quickly, I would say that Callum would probably hang back with Tygo just because his family probably has a lot of trophies in there and he doesn't like that attention drawn to him. So he'd be like, hey, what are you doing?
Yeah, oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, so as it's interesting, as you guys begin to trail, teachers notice odd things like there are less footsteps happening now. And he gets to the archive door, you watch him pull his keys out and he kind of goes to turn it and click it. And he stops, and he turns around and notices that the two of you have kind of trailed, and he says, the trophy room. Impressive, isn't it?
No.
Materialistic it is.
He kind
I don't think they're made of real gold.
They are not, but this one is bronze, and he kind of points to a very large trophy that was won by the soccer team many, many years ago. But he looks at Tygo, who is kind of standing there. He says, are you interested?
Yeah, I was hoping to get a trophy of my own, at least be in a team that gets it.
Aspirations. I love a student with good aspirations, he says. He pulls his key from the door and turns around and actually walks back towards you as if this is his chance to monologue to you. He's been waiting. And he says, now, son. Kind of puts a hand on your shoulder. And he says, I'm gonna be honest. Winners don't get detention, son. He's like mocking from behind. You know, he's using the power thumb. Winners don't get detention.
I'm gonna see right through him, and I know what he's doing, and I'm not gonna say anything.
Does that mean that I have no longer detention and I can go home?
He goes, no problem. You're still in detention. Until you get past your obsession with goats, we're gonna have to just keep you here.
My job is hardly obsession, but I love what I do.
Well, at least you're passionate. It's more than I can say for others. And he looks down to, what is it, Aino? Aino, okay. He looks down to Aino through these kind of like, again, matching deep set eyebrows that raise long enough for you to see his eyes as he looks right at you, and then they fall again.
Are they caterpillar size?
They match his mustache. It's
Oh,
like you
yeah.
ripped
Ooh.
this and put 2 more on top.
Ooh.
It's
That's
a
an
lot.
image.
It's a lot of hair. If you guys have seen Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, have you seen that movie? I love that movie. It's one of my favorites. But his dad in that movie, where like the eyebrow sits so low, you never see his eyes till he raises them. That's
Right.
That's this guy. He's like super stern face, a lot of facial hair, broad shoulders. Like I said, age has not done him very well. He's got some kind of pepperiness and a little bit of an aging gut that hangs over a pair of khakis that are about 10 years too old for him to wear.
Vollers man.
And he says, "Well, now, I'm. This is why detention is good. I'm learning a lot about each of you. Somebody with aspirations, somebody that maybe a farmer or livestock. I don't know, son." And he kind of looks past Braum. He doesn't even know what to say about that. He's like, "This is good. This is really good. Come, I have something to show you all." And he finally clicks the lock open. Now, you're welcome to stay behind, but he does swing the door that kind of ends this hallway open. Dust.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow.
You, okay.
I immediately block Aino from entering. Or oh, wait, it's it's maybe the Tygo.
Tygo.
You're the
There
one.
you
Yeah.
go. Oh, I'm
You
gonna
should
look
not
up.
go in there, little friend. You have aspirations. Do you have your inhaler?
My. I don't
There is
understand.
much dust.
Oh.
Oh, jeez.
So, again, he just hangs his head. It's like, what am I supposed to do with these kids? The constant stance of a headmaster, trust me, I know. And as he swings the door open, there seems to be a small, this is on like the lower level of the school. There's a light that's kind of beaming through a window. Sunlight comes in on this Sunday morning, reminding you how frickin' early it is for you to all be here on a weekend. The rest of the students are out on the lawn. You, of course, all live here. It's like a boarding school, but today is your free day. And the sun beams through in this, with the light, and you can see the dust particles in the air. In this room is stacked boxes and boxes of just like archives and file folders and archival boxes. Some of them just kind of stacked on top of each other, beginning to flatten with time and age. The cardboard worn at some corners. There might even be a little bit of water damage on a few of them. And he says, "All right." And he walks over to what is a couple dolly carts.
I'm gonna
yeah.
pick up one of the nearest boxes, something big, and turn to Bram and say, "Come on, Bram, let's pick this stuff up. We need to put this elsewhere."
Are you sure you're
Yes.
good to go?
I mean, we need to start working. I want to be outside as soon as possible.
All right. That is the kind of energy that I like.
Yes.
We shall get to work.
The headmaster claps you both and says, "Good lads. I have a good feeling about today. I have a good feeling about today."
Every day is good day. When
And-
the sun is high and you are among friends.
And he kind of like pulls at his belt underneath his belly, hanging on to his belt buckle. And he says, "Your task is to take all the boxes from this room, take them down the hallway out back of the school. There's a large bin that we have brought in. You are simply to dump them, and the janitorial services will handle it from there. Do you understand?"
Bring boxes to bin.
Correct. Do not, under any circumstances, read these archives. They're private files of past students and activities here at the school. Most of it has been entered into the computers digitally and our database, but unfortunately, the school board and the foundation wants me to hang on to things, and we're cleaning out. Spring cleaning, we are going to call it. It should take you all day, because you guys realize this room is huge. And he says, "I will be back to check on you. You will get a lunch break, and
Will it be special lunch?
he says, if you're done with all this by lunch, I'll order pizza."
Pizza is not very special. It is good, but it is not special.
He's like, students like pizza. You all like pizza, right?
Everyone
that's
likes
still-
pizza.
that's
This
still
is
a
not
thing.
a special thing.
What if it's goat cheese pizza, man?
Is it goat cheese?
Sure, yes.
Huzzah! I need to go to work.
So these boxes are pretty heavy. He seems very happy that you guys are happy. And he says, watching you.
I am watching you too.
And he turns on his heels and kind of click, 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 clicks away.
I'm waiting till she's all the way like gone.
Yeah, and he clicks and rounds the corner back to kind of where the long hallway where the janitor was situated. And his footsteps fade away and out of sight.
Archer is gonna sit down with the box and start looking at all the files because they were explicitly told not to.
Of course you were. That's why I said
Okay, and I gonna look through the letters and look
Okay.
for something specific.
Okay, so here's what we'll do. Let's get a clever check from the both of you. If you are interested at all in doing this without leaving trace that you have gone through these files, I'm gonna need to get a careful from you. As well, if you don't give a crap and you're just like sorting files and dumping them back in boxes, all I need is a clever check.
I think I am going to do it carefully, but first, because I have another stunt that says once per scene, if they have a caffeinated drink on hand, they can roll cleverly instead of any other stat.
Oh,
So
interesting.
They're gonna pull the equivalent of a Red Bull out of their backpack, and I'm going to use cleverly to, or clever.
Here on the island, we call them
Careful.
red goats.
Oh yeah, yep, red goat.
Because
I
why
don't
not?
care. I'm just gonna roll the.
Go for it. Yeah, by all means. So I love it. One of you is like carefully going through, trying not to leave fingerprints. The other one's like, screw it.
Are there any kind of
Great.
labeling on the outside of the boxes or anything?
Yes, there are. There are a few labeled student files. There are some labeled, like you can tell one of them seems to be receipts for past purchases of the school, invoices, that kind of thing. And then at the very back, you see one that's labeled school plans. It's one of the older boxes, like stacks of, I guess you could say stacks of boxes. It seems at one point this might have been an organized room, as the back wall is lined with shelving units that are thoroughly full. And so they've just started stacking stuff on the floor like schools do. So yeah, let's yeah, you pretty easily read the boxes. That doesn't take a check in any way. Now, out of 4, okay, so we got a
I got 5
and a 4. Okay, out of 4, you begin looking through. Is there something you're looking for in particular, Petra?
Nope, I was just told I can't, so I'm going to.
Okay,
Or I shouldn't, so therefore I do.
all right. At a 5, are you looking for anything in particular?
I'm looking for my files, my files, and then I look at the school plans.
Okay. Student files are kind of a dime a dozen. They seem to have a template. Obviously, this was before the school was completely technology integrated. You don't even know how long the school's probably been here, because it was probably pretty secretive when it first started. Average stuff, report cards of students, social security numbers, medical
But do I
records.
find my own?
Do you find your own? You do not find your own. Most of the boxes in here predate your attendance.
Okay.
And the headmaster had mentioned that these files were all digitally backed up.
They were, yes, that is what you were told, is that they are digitally backed up.
So rather than disturb the files, then I'm going to see if I can get into the database with one of my phones and like
Ooh.
cross-reference any of the
Okay.
recent added
Yeah.
files.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead. So as you do that, do you have a stunt or something specific you're using for that?
I've got no, there's one I just kind of made up, but
Okay.
it's more human than human.
Love it.
Because computers make more sense to Ray than people do. He gets a +2 whenever he attempts to make any kind of computer systems check.
Love it. Okay, so go ahead. We're going to have you make the computer systems check. That is still considered a clever check, but you'll add your +2 to your clever check.
So
All right.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're fine. I was gonna say, for the 5 that you rolled as well, as you're flipping through because you got a little bit more than Petra did, you come across a box of files. On the outside of all of the files is a giant stamp that says deceased. Every one of the student files has a deceased stamp on it.
I'm gonna look through those.
Yeah. Okay.
Are we, while they're doing this, there's no supervision, nobody's here to...
Nope. It is just you guys. You're supposed to be moving boxes, but
I am moving boxes.
Yeah, I assume me and Bram would be already taking out boxes.
So-
and by the time we arrive, I'm gonna ask Bram, are they not taking the boxes?
They are just gathering their energy. They are not as strong as you and I.
speaking of how strong you are, you guys roll me a forceful check. Each to see. These are heavy file boxes, so let's see how easily you're.
How does
moving.
that other stuff come into play with it? Like the concept, talent, student, all that stuff. How does that work?
Yeah,
into-
sure. So
Does
basically,
it work into it?
It
I
does
have
kind
my
of.
drive fits into this perfect.
Great. So there are 2 things in Fate Accelerated. It's a little different. The only thing that you can use fate points on is your stunts. You have to use a fate point to activate one of your stunts, which one, I can pass out fate points, and 2, for doing random things. Donations, you can give fate points to people. And the only other thing that you can kind of activate is what's known as a talent, okay? Talent is still a phrase, is an aspect phrase in Fate, but the way it works in Fate Accelerated, when you activate it, or you feel like it is relevant to making a roll better. So let's say, for example, you roll really poorly. You roll 3 negatives and a 0 on something, and it's much worse than you thought. If you can narratively tell me and the rest of us how your talent allows you to flip your die, everything that was a negative becomes a positive. So your -3 would become a +3. So talents work very interesting here because it's a narrative-based way for you to let your character do what they're really great at, especially if you roll really poorly. It does not take a fate point to activate that. It's simply a talent that you have, and it's embedded in who you are.
And you can do that as many times as you'd like.
As long as you can narratively give us a reason, and it actually helps your roll when you flip it. But you know,
I thought it was only once per scene.
It is technically, okay, you're right. It is once per scene. And the way that, because we're not in combat, the way I work scenes is every time we either move from one location to another is considered a scene. Anytime we're traveling, we move into a new scene. Or anytime topics or a new character enters, it becomes a new scene.
And then, when do we get our refreshes? Just because I've now used 2 stunts.
Yes. Refreshes will usually happen at the end of a combat because that actually has to do with your stress. Refreshes do. The best way to earn more fate points is to do, it's like inspiration points, right? Which is to do inspiring things. Or beg chat to make donations and give you some. So, you know what? For the sake of this, we'll say, we'll say $5 donations, or the equivalent in bits will equal a fate point you can give to a person of your choosing. That's how we'll lay that out.
So I don't know how this works mechanically, like what buttons I push, but I think I can use the drive, find joy in a simple life, to make me my just doing manual labor more effective.
Cool. Yeah. You like doing manual labor.
I
Yeah.
sure do.
Yeah, you sure do. So, yeah.
You can use drive. I have drive
Okay.
to live way I want despite the rules and authority.
Okay. So drive is not something that activates or adds any benefit. It is something that is in place. So just so that you guys know, in Fate Accelerated, drive is there to help you know what your character should be doing. It's the thing that helps you make choices. So in this case, it would make total sense if Brahm's drive is finds joy in the simple things to be doing manual labor. So I don't give you any benefit for that, but you still will roll a forceful check.
Okay.
Yeah. So go ahead. The thing is
I
like
have done so. I have rolled a 2.
2. That's really good. You're moving boxes like you were meant to move boxes, sir. Like it is in your second nature. No problem there.
I rolled a 1, and I'm visibly more tired than
Yeah,
Bram is.
yeah. It's a little more difficult, but Bram is keeping you inspired.
While all that's
I
going
actually
on,
have a stunt for that, so if you get too low, I can reassuring you back to full confidence.
Love that.
Nice. So while all that's going on, Callum is stacking boxes into a throne.
You're kind of rearranging them. Some of them sag and are kind of soft with age, a little
The paper
mildew.
throne?
Yeah, basically the paper throne.
You know it.
So, yeah, I would say if you're going to be moving boxes, you also need to roll that forceful check for me to see how successful that is. Now, you opened up the box full of deceased students. Hey, your throne is coming together. It's going to take you a couple minutes, but you're building a completely unnecessary box throne. As you flip through the deceased students, nothing stands out to you necessarily, other than one is a box full of deceased students. There should be no such thing at a school that is
They
heavily
should be
watched.
buried in graveyard.
Right. More importantly, the other thing you begin to note is cause of death on each one of the files is left blank. They never filled in cause of death.
I start placing back the case files and grab one of the boxes and just place it on a corner and take out my harmonica and start playing.
Can I somehow tell the reaction? Because I'm not seeing the files right now, and I'm getting a little bit because I want to go to lunch.
I just want to go to lunch. I just want that goat cheese pizza.
Can I ask, or can I, without asking, can I just tell if people are upset or what their reaction is from the files they're seeing?
So there are only 2 of them that are really actively looking through files, and I need to get to also the digital search that happened because that's going to fill in some things. So, you can tell. How about this? You can very easily tell they go through the first round of boxes pretty easily. Check. Nothing of super interest. They even check the school plans, which seem to be like blueprints and a few other things, which you could do a harder search on. But it is the box that. The deceased box. It is unlabeled. It's one of the only unlabeled boxes in this storage closet, and it's there's definitely a pause. They are going through the boxes. She's going through the boxes, or these files much slower, and you watch as they're opening each one to like look. So you can tell there is something more interesting about the most recent unlabeled box. Now, your digital search. Did we get that roll from you? Yes, I did. Wow. Holy cow. Out of 5. So between your just natural talent for searching for things and then your bonus, you did very well. You're using a cell phone?
Yeah.
You guys just hear the click of Ray as you hack into basically the school's database, which is not something new to you. You've done it before. You probably change your tardies and your report card when necessary. But this time when you hack in, you do basically a cross-reference. When you begin to cross-reference, are you looking for anything in particular?
I'm looking for any orders to burn these files, and I'm also looking for today's date.
Okay. There is a memo note, a series of kind of emails that went back and forth from the office staff that said that today's detention will be doing a clean out of the archives. More importantly, there is a cryptic message that has come through, which out of 5 you're able to decode, but it takes you a couple extra minutes as they begin moving boxes. The throne is almost in its completion when this cryptic message finally comes through. The sender is not listed, which tells you it probably came from the Foundation itself. It is directly sent to the headmaster. It does in fact tell them to burn all of the files, all of the hard copy files, because they've encrypted those now into the database. Following that, there is a note at the end that says the recent incident with 2 students is to remain secret. It is not to be talked about. Please leave their files open. Do not close them.
I'm gonna notice having noticed the fact that there's a box with the deceased and that Aino is sort of being reactive or more upset at that, I'm gonna remember Chet from before, and in my head I'm gonna sort of associate it. I'm gonna ask Aino, "Do you think Chet is in there?" Just,
Maybe.
I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna help look through the files.
Okay.
That is good. You take rest. Brown will do everything.
All right. Well, you guys start looking through the files. So you know Chet and Riley. Riley is the head cheerleader that has gone missing, and Chet is, of course, the football player. Are any of you in the cool kids crowd or friends with some of the sports kids?
Absolutely.
I don't think
friends with
so.
everyone.
Okay. I would say it's pretty common knowledge within the student body, and especially if you're friends with some of the cooler kids. Well, Chet and Riley, of course, have been dating for a while. But more importantly, Chet and Riley have the tendency to take their lunch period to go snog, as they like to call it. It's kind of their secret word, but they like to go make out. Where they make out is always a mystery. Like where they go to do it, but you do know that they have a tendency to disappear during lunch and come back after. They've been missing for about a week and a half, both of them. And missing meaning they've not shown up to class.
So, do you think they've just been snogging for a week? Or...
Is that how it works?
Or
Ray's
Those are
just
gonna
gonna
be-
be giggling.
Those are gonna be some raw lips, man.
And with that cue, I'm gonna see if I can do any kind of search to find out any more information on Chet through the database.
Okay.
don't we have a internal social media?
Yes. Yes, you do. So, good question. So, because you guys are not really allowed access to the outside world, they have their own social media, literally here on site. And you would each have an account if you wanted one, but it's the way that all the kind of occult students communicate across all of the schools. It's a single social media that connects you with all the other occult students across the world.
Hey, Ray.
Yeah.
Check their OSN accounts.
It's
Okay.
the occult student network, or occultar student network.
Yes, your king commends it.
Yes, your king commands it. You click, and the way that you do, you go pull up. Are you pulling up Chet or Riley's profile?
We'll pull up Chet first.
You pull up Chet's profile. There's a photo that he's reposted from his girlfriend's page about a week and a half ago of the two of them. Little selfie action, like hashtag blessed to have such a great boyfriend, or something. And following that, Chet made a single post that's like super hyped for football practice today. Looking forward to the new jerseys. You guys would know that they had to move funds from the drama club to get new jerseys for the team,
Jerks.
It's just the same.
which is my actual life story. Yeah, and that's kind of what
Your
you get.
normal
Yeah.
Average run-of-the-mill Chet posts.
It seems like it, but it is, the timeline lines up. He's not posted anything since his, he kind of left. What you find interesting is when you kind of click through to Riley's page, Riley does a lot more posting than Chet does. Riley does a lot of on-site, day-long, live tweeting, I guess you could call it, or live posting. And the last post is from a week and a half ago, and she says, Chet and I are going to hang out. See you guys after lunch. And it's a picture of course, hangout is in quotations, and there's probably eggplant squirt emojis behind it. And because why wouldn't there be? And there's a picture of her and Chet. Make a clever roll as you look at this.
Can I? So my talent is occasionally says the smartest things because my character has a 0 on clever,
Oh, okay, interesting.
and I don't know if I can activate it using a fate point or.
So the way that that works is you would make a roll, and if you roll really poorly, you can basically flip your roll to be good. So everything that's a negative becomes a positive when you narratively tell me how your talent applies.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're welcome to also make a clever. Yes, that would be a prime example of needing to flop your die. So in this case, if we take a look here, no, I want to do it. There we go. If we take a look, so that was 1, 2, 3 negatives and a positive. So if you can tell me narratively, based on your talent, how you make a better clever check, that would now become a 3 instead of a -2.
Okay.
Or
so,
2 instead of a -2.
So my character would be familiar with Chet because he's of course in the basketball sports team. My character is. Chet is in football.
Okay.
I thought I don't remember, but so would my character know anything specific that he would notice?
Yeah.
from the
So.
photo?
Yeah, so, okay. So from a 5 from Ray, as you're looking at this picture, you're like, wait a second. As you look at the background, you realize that they are currently in this closet. That this is where they used to come make out. Now, you notice based on your like flip, that Chet has many times talked about them making out on boxes. He's not a bad guy, so he's definitely not a skis in terms of he doesn't tell everything, but you know that he has talked about making out with his girlfriend on a stack of boxes more than one time.
You are
Hey.
brilliant. That's all. Okay.
Have you folks noticed that that photo was taken here in this room?
What?
Yeah, that last photo from Riley was taken over here, and Chad was always talking about how they made out in boxes, on boxes. I'm not really sure.
In boxes, that would be interesting.
Their last post shows them in here.
Yeah.
The last post.
Okay. In this room, we're always being watched in, right?
Correct.
So
I mean,
there's some kind of closed circuit television, or
No, I think we're just always being watched.
That's the thing. You're not exactly sure how you're always being watched. You just are. And you know it. Because you can do something in private and the next day you will get in trouble for it. So there's definitely this concept of like the foundation is here on this island. You don't know where they are, but they are definitely located here and they are watching you always.
Can I use Alune, my ghost friend, to see if there's like any compartments behind any of the shelves?
Sure you can. So your ghost friend actually, I'm guessing they communicate direct with you, though nobody else hears your friends, your ghost
Yeah,
friend?
no, it's like a telepathic connection, or like we can feel each other's emotions, kind of.
So, your ghost friend, that which you can see but nobody else can, literally passes through boxes. You guys see as this happens, just some poofing of dust from the boxes as he like passes through. Even maybe one that Bram is like picking up to load onto a cart. Yeah, it like poofs dust in your face. Like, whoa, that's not supposed to
I
happen.
think this one has red.
And your ghost friend, you feel a dark energy from them. And not that they are in danger, but this level of panic sets in as they basically communicate to you that they are not the only ghost in this room.
Can it? And that's all it communicates. It doesn't like.
Yeah, it basically tells you that it's staring at two ghosts, a male and a female.
I think you will hear Petra. Petra will go, if there are any spirits in this room, make yourselves known.
I'm one.
Yes.
I think she throws a file at Callum.
Yeah. Ray, you wanted to do something, or you had a question?
I was announcing myself as a spirit. I was a spirit.
Oh, I see what you're saying. The room kind of falls silent as you guys are like, what is she doing? What is Petra talking?
I'm looking through the box I'm holding.
Okay.
Come here, little friend. We don't want you to get burned. Because I think there's a rat in there.
Yeah, you kind of flip through. There's nothing. You open the box. You're like, what? It's just files. Probably old receipts or something. As you kind of, finish loading it, and
I think it climbed out.
My character looks around for a floating backpack to see if it's back again for some reason.
the floating backpack. It is Sans floating backpack, but the room, for those of you that are very astute, begins to get cold.
We mean
Just like home.
no harm. We just like to talk.
I'm super spooked right now.
Yeah.
I don't like this.
Yeah, the room, you can begin to see your breath. And as that happens, at the far end, near kind of the back corner that hasn't been cleared yet, stand your two classmates in this kind of eerie, ethereal blue. She simply stands there holding the hand of Chet. Chet's throat has been slit. It stands partially open like a Pez dispenser. He attempts to speak to all of you, but when he opens his mouth, there's a black void where you should see things like tongue and teeth. As if he cannot get his words out. His mouth just lays agape. She holds his hand, and where her eyes should be stands two voids.
Speak up, man. Cat got your tongue.
So I think
I don't think you
Is
should.
everyone else seeing this?
Petra will make her or their ghost friend appear as a way to like try to communicate with the two of them.
Yeah.
If they can give the ghost emotions.
So you guys see a third ghost appear. What does your ghost friend look like?
They're about a year old, so they still are very like childlike in their appearance.
Okay.
I'm imagining also kind of Casper the Friendly Ghost, so where
Yeah.
a leg should be, the female child has kind of just comes to a point.
Yep.
And I think they're probably actually like hiding over Petra's shoulder, like just like peeking up above the shoulder. And Petra looks down at her and goes, "Yeah, I know it's scary, but I just need your help. These are my classmates. These are my friends."
So you, having a little bit of ghostly knowledge, you know that the older the ghost, the less corporeal or like normal their form is. So you can rightfully assume, because the tail comes to like a point, this is a much older ghost. Their form becomes like less humanoid, as your two classmates have feet and they kind of stand there trying to still attach themselves to the world in which they have left.
What is this, Ghost-a-Palooza?
Yes, it's a Ghost-a-Palooza.
Is that what that is? A ghost? I only like goats, not ghosts. Get away!
So
Have you guys ever seen those really old shows where they would like go to like spooky places and try to hunt ghosts?
Ghost
Oh,
hunters?
yeah.
There were never
You know those old shows like that?
ghosts.
No.
What I want to take one of my phones and put it like onto like a memo app and set it down in the box by the ghost to see if they can. Sometimes a ghost can use like electricity and things like that to communicate easier with us, with our side.
Is this real ghost and not computer generated image thing?
I feel pretty confident when I tell you that these are real ghosts.
Oh, it kind of looks like Chet. But
Shit.
Yeah,
I
that's-
think
It
that
looks
Chet and
when
Riley,
you say his name, he looks right at you, Bram.
Chet, are you all right?
I think Chet and Riley were murdered in here, and it's our job to figure out, or well, not our job, but I'm going to figure out what happened.
Chet, are you dead? That is awful.
Bro,
Yeah,
shut
Bram.
up for 2
I got to
seconds.
hug him.
I love it so much. Yeah, so the I love this. So Chet does in fact respond to you when you ask him a question. His head, mouth still agape, black void in place of his mouth. He nods when you ask, was he killed?
Okay, we're
I-
trying this.
Yeah. So
Chet.
okay,
What killed you? And I'm going to set the phone down on a box nearby.
you set the phone down. It's actually Petra's ghost that goes over to the phone to kind of you. This is fun. Petra, your ghost, it merges with his cell phone. Actually, it's inside of it. You didn't even know they could do that. And when this happens, the phone floats up in the air and kind of rights itself and begins to glow this blue. The screen now flashes just a little, cursor as if it was like DOS, I guess. And it begins to decipher what the ghosts are trying to say to you.
See, just like those old ghost shows.
Just like those old ghosters. So
I
Classic
didn't even
cinema.
know we've been like bonded since I was a kid. I didn't even know she could do that.
her head like pops out of the screen. She smiles at you and winks, and then like flops back into it. As they kind of talk to her, you watch his mouth lays like open and agape. No, not communicating the way you or I would. They do seem to resonate with being asked questions.
So I'm going to try to comfort him
Were
using
you?
stunt for reassuring.
Okay, very nice. Comfort the ghost, Chet.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, let's keep him calm. I like that. So yeah, you can totally spend a fate point, and that uses... What does that use for you?
Since he's so grandiose, I put it under flashy.
I
but
love
if
it.
you want something else, that's
no,
fine too.
No, we'll keep it at flashy. So you get your +2 to a flashy roll.
Boom.
Wow.
Everything will be all right.
Yeah, your presence literally calms them. You watch as the fear that was on her face, Riley's face, subsides. The voids in her eyes disappear. Like I said, these kind of black void. The void that was where his mouth was also subsides, and now the two of them stand there, still holding hands. Him in his Letterman jacket. She has his like Letterman ring around her neck, and they actually sit down to represent like a level of calm, and they seem very open to answering questions or trying to communicate with you.
Were you guys murdered in this room?
The phone simply types out, yes.
Was it a student?
No.
Was it the teacher?
No.
Foundation member?
No.
A giraffe.
No.
Was
There
it
are
a
giraffes?
ghost?
The two ghosts
gonna-
look at you.
I have
I'm
never
gonna-
seen giraffes.
You gotta think outside the box.
Are
Can
we
you-
in danger? I'm gonna ask.
Yes.
Well, I kind of figured that the minute we got sent to this school, so that's that.
Do not worry, everyone. You are safe with Brown.
I'm gonna
I don't
go
buy that.
outside
You like goats.
Okay.
and check if anybody's coming.
The hallways seem very, very quiet. You do hear a waxing machine off way, way, way down the hallway as if the janitor's currently waxing floors, but you're all alone.
Okay, folks, I'm gonna stand guard. You guys try to figure out what happened. I'll tell you if anybody shows up. Take as long as you need.
Great.
Are there more dangerous spirits than my ghost and you guys?
Yes. It says yes, and then the cursor flashes for a second, and then for the first time it continues beyond just yes or no answer. No one is safe with the void on the island.
How?
It's not nice to call Steve. Yeah, he eats a lot, but come on.
I don't think that it. They already said it wasn't a student.
Also, I beat Steve in eating contest.
Oh,
You
really? Okay.
You should know
I mean, only once, but
the void is capitalized.
Where can we find the void?
Everywhere.
I was afraid you were going to tell me that.
Everywhere.
What is the void?
Good question. The cursor blinks for a second, and you can tell that they have to figure out how to put words to that.
Is it like that Lovecraft guy and his crazy creature things he came up with?
Kind of, yeah.
That would have been a question she would have asked Chet.
Yeah.
I know I'm going old school literature. I'm sorry.
Chet looks confused. He probably was not for old school literature. Neither probably was Riley, but the cursor flashes for a second and takes in the two questions. Then a large amount of text appears. I say large, a couple sentences. The beings from a previous universe, the cold ones, they seek to infiltrate the Foundation. None of us are safe.
I don't understand. Are these aliens?
Evil beers. Cult ones.
Actually, when you ask if they are, they respond no. They are not aliens.
How did you find out more information about them? Like, are there ways we can fight them?
Again, the cursor flashes for a second.
Because whether I like it or not, this is my home and I'm going to do what I can to protect it.
Okay. They respond. Cannot fight them. Must warn the Foundation.
Bram can fight anything. But more important question. If you two are dead, where is your bodies?
Again, the cursor...
real bodies, not ghost bodies.
The cursor flashes for an ungodly amount of time. Finally, it simply responds. They walk amongst the island.
Your dead bodies are walking around?
The void, from the void has them.
Being repurposed.
We've got ghosts, now we got zombies.
So wait.
This is not the kingdom I planned.
Are they possessing your bodies and pushed out your ghosts?
Yes.
Oh,
no one takes over my friends' bodies. Come, chat. We shall find your body and kick whoever is in there out.
What happens to you if we are able to do that?
We are dead. Period.
But the body is still going, so we put you back.
Is this using a lot of my data?
Yes. I mean, I don't know about the ghost communication, but you did use some data earlier, like when you were doing some searching, but this seems to be like on a different level, because this is basically our friendly ghosts deciphering ghost talk.
It's long distance call to make a text from beyond the grave.
Correct.
Oh, he's right here.
Petra, you got to do your thing because you're going to use up all my data.
It's fine. I'll pay you back. I'll pay your overage fees. It's fine. I feel like saving the entire academy from the void might be a little bit more important than your data. I'll buy you a new phone.
Have you ever tried to do anything when it slows you down to 7G? It's like waiting forever.
It is good to talk about your problems when you're dead. And someone stole his body.
So,
can I make a clever roll to see if I can put pieces of the puzzle together?
Yes, you can.
Can I propose, just before you make
I'm gonna sit down by myself and start like thinking about this.
Yeah, go ahead. You two, if you would like to make a clever roll.
Yeah, I have the ability to specifically for this that I can use my
ouch.
My stance is introvert's thoughts, that which I made up, is that when I'm on my own thinking, I get +2.
Do you guys think this has something to do with the janitor outside who beat himself?
He didn't pee himself, first off. And secondly, my talent is I ain't afraid of ghosts. Can my ghost friend try to piece together the information so that I don't fail miserably? Or give me some sort of hint?
So...
Apparently we're... having issues at the moment.
Okay, so let's go step by step here because we've got a lot of people doing a lot of things, and I want to make sure that I can, I can figure this out. So, all right. First things first, at your 0 roll, you're welcome to, because that wasn't a very good roll for you, it looks like you got 3 negatives. So you could use your talent, if you wanted, to flip those, Petra, and just flat out make that roll.
Yes, that would be what I would like to do.
So, they're saying that they can't hear you quite very well, Colonel, so if you'll do me a favor and maybe up your mic a little bit, just everybody at home saying they can't hear you very well. Everybody else seems to be pretty balanced, okay. You use your talent. Tell me how you do this.
I think there's a lot of my ghost friend gets an image of I'm really struggling to try to piece together what we've found out, and I think instead of just emotion, there's some sort of image of what we can do to try to save the academy, whatever narratively that would be.
Okay. What is your talent exactly? How have you labeled it?
I wrote I ain't afraid of no ghosts.
I ain't afraid of no ghost. Okay. And you used it clever, and you were seeking what information?
I was trying to put together, because I don't know that I know about the deceased student files, because I don't think that was shared.
Correct.
Something is forcing ghost spirits out of their corporeal bodies.
Okay.
And I want to either figure out how to stop that, or my goal is to try to figure out how to stop that.
So,
to prevent more students from going missing.
Okay. You flip your dice roll using your talent. You think a little bit about it. So first things first, because you have a connection to ghosts, you know that ghosts usually only exist when they have unfinished business. Okay? So that's first things first. Second, you know that based on the amount of deceased files, which are in a giant box, okay, that,
Did I actually hear about them? Because I thought, just looked at them, and I don't know if that information was ever shared. I just want to play it straight.
Okay. It's definitely not something that's shared, but it's also always whispered about via students that,
okay.
that it's not unheard of for students to disappear. It just doesn't get talked about.
Gotcha.
You're often silenced by it, okay? And let's see, we had a couple others. So that flashy roll's pretty good. What were you aiming for there, Brom? What was the flashy roll? Oh, no, that was your talking them down. I'm sorry, I went backwards. All right, we got a 6 on the clever. What were you seeking to do with your 6?
So I used my stunt of introvert's thoughts.
Okay.
It is when I am take my own time and start thinking about thinking.
Okay.
And I get +2.
Great. So that's pretty doggone good. Okay, so.
And it was that based on the rumors and the student files, I want to figure out the connection between these things and kind of the same thing that Petra was doing.
Okay. All right. Well, there's a couple things. If you know Chet and Riley at all, Riley, though a cheerleader, is an entirely intelligent. Hang on. I'm gonna see if this doesn't help. Okay. Is a very, very intelligent person. She has a particular interest in technology. Chet, though not the brightest cookie in the box, hence the name The Toaster, does follow her and her lead, and always has pretty regularly. Yeah. This is what strikes you. You start thinking about them. There are a lot of people here at the school that are untrustworthy. What if their makeout sessions were a complete and total lie? What if they were not making out in the closet?
Can I
Were
ask
you
Oh, sorry,
were
go
you were you actually at all making out in the here? And I asked the those
Yeah. No. We made a mistake.
ahead. What was your mistake? I mean, other than probably dying in here.
Beyond the
Just
obvious. Beyond the
Beyond
obvious.
Was this an
Um,
illegal gambling ring?
No, they respond.
What is your unfinished business?
We never finished our business.
Be why you're here.
What game were you actually killed?
So they say, again, it flashes for a second, and then it finally responds, having, again, your ghost is trying to decipher this kind of ethereal language that they're speaking. It says, we were a disciple of the Cold Ones. A cult. The two of us sought to make the universe habitable for those that are not from here. We made a mistake. They lied to us. We were the great sacrifice.
Are there more members?
Yes.
Do you mind telling us who?
I got tap at the deceased box.
Well, those are ones who made the great sacrifice, I have to assume now.
No, it actually says. Again, this school has had a lot of activity. These kids could have died there because the reason that they are dead is listed at, like, there's no listing of how they passed. You can rightfully assume that they could have died a bajillion different ways. These two in particular, though, seem to be part of a larger plot.
Well, do you want to fill us in on this larger plot so that if we decide we have to go to the Foundation, we can go to the Foundation? I just don't want anyone else getting hurt like you did.
Two boxes from the back that haven't been touched or moved yet literally, like, tip over on their own as if they fall, like somebody pushed them from the back, which is odd because there's a wall there. And as the two boxes spill out, it is not paperwork or receipts that you find. Bits of odd technology, odds and ends, strange tools, tip over and out as if this is where the two of them hid their stuff.
I would like to check out the technology that falls out of the box.
Cool.
I would like to do the same. I don't know if my microphone is good or
It's still a smidge low. I don't know if you can actually turn it up in Zoom. That may be the way to do it. And it also may be what I was dealing with earlier, which is that it has automatic mic leveling checked. If you uncheck that, you have a lot more control over the mic.
That's a separate issue from what is going on the stream. There's a constant.
It's got to be their Yeti gang. That's the only thing I can.
Yeah, I can't hear it from you. It's something else.
Yeah, I can't hear you.
You sound fine to me, except when I turn on the stream.
All right, let me make sure there's nothing extra rolling here. I don't think so. Desktop audio's turned off. Yeah, the only thing I can figure is that it's picking up. It's very loud here. It's very loud, and there's no ceiling on my sound booth, so it must be picking up con noise.
See,
Yeah,
I
it's
used
weird
to
that
be
we
able to
can't
hear
hear it, but the stream can. That's very odd.
It is very odd. I was thinking the same thing because I don't actually hear it. I was about to say I don't hear it. I'm gonna play back audio. Hang on.
'Cause we used to be able to hear the con noise.
Yeah, no.
Another setting you can try on that Yeti dot on the back side of it.
Oh.
There should be like omnidirectional and
Oh.
Pattern mic pattern. You can set it to maybe a singular if it's right in front of you.
Yep, I see that. I did. Oh, and here's the gain too. The gain may be very high. Let me turn the gain down a little bit. That could help some as well. Is this getting better? You guys on stream will have to tell us because they're not hearing it through Zoom.
I'm gonna hit.
and you can actually lower
That's
your
right.
mic volume or the gain on the mic. You were a little hot too.
Was I? Okay, so I'm gonna take the gain down. All right, let's see if that's better. You guys just kind of let me know because I definitely don't want. And then I'm gonna go into our audio settings here and take my input volume down just a tad. Does that seem a bit more balanced for everybody? Background noise
There you
is
go.
worse now.
You got it.
Better, great, fantastic. I did it. Okay, thank you guys for being
You did it,
patient.
Reddit.
Yay! The difference between 1,000 people around you and being in the comfort of your own home. Okay. Also, like I said, I don't use a Yeti mic, so that's all new to me. Okay. So, thank you for that follow. So let's see. Okay, here's what. When it all tips over, you notice that the two of them, these two ghosts standing there on the floor, or sitting on the floor, look over to their right. They stare at all of it. The phone begins to type out a much kind of longer message. Okay? That message proceeds and kind of reads as the following. We are followers of the void, the oblivion. The cold ones have lost their identities. We, they kind of reference themselves, are sorcerers who experiment with outer science. You know that outer science is absolutely 100% forbidden at this school. You cannot, in any way, shape, or form, be a part of that. It's very dangerous, and it's basically what the government is attempting to keep secret. Our hope is to provide the cold ones, the lost souls from a previous universe, a place here. They have a single goal: tear down the foundation and make occult sciences available to all.
I mean, I'm not usually one to be told that, or I'm not usually one to not do the things I'm told I shouldn't. But this is much bigger than you. Much, much bigger. You could end the entire world bigger.
You can't end the world. That's where I live.
The phone responds. Their world was ended.
Did we end their world?
No.
Well, they can't have ours.
But it probably happened for a reason.
I don't know that we're qualified to draw that line in the sand, you guys. I mean, I think we should maybe discuss possible negotiations or compromises here.
I'm going to the headmaster.
Are they
I don't
really
think we
good?
That seems
Hand
good.
off with ghost aliens right here in this basement. I don't think that's we're looking at many more weekends of detention.
That's fine. I'm willing to take that. Take the fall.
Moving boxes is better than normal school.
I will. I won't involve you. I figured this all out on my own.
I mean, usually they don't usually have us down here doing this dirty stuff anyway. Most of the time I'm just watching movies in the library. So I don't.
You guys don't understand. This literally could be the end of our world, and none of you want to go to the headmaster.
I want to go to the headmaster.
I don't like him. I'm not gonna lie. I don't want to be here. I'd much rather be back in Germany. Back at home.
Folks, I didn't feel very comfortable when Headmaster told me that he saw promise in me. I see the same in what happened to Chet and Riley. I think they might have saw a promise in me. I'm not sure the Headmaster's not involved in this as well.
Fine then. I'll go straight to the Foundation. I'll find them. This is not something we can keep quiet.
If they're always
But
watching
we ask
us,
student president.
Okay, I guess if that's what's gotta happen, I guess I'll come campaign.
Are all of you in the room?
I am in a room, right?
I'm just by the door.
You're just by the door looking out. As you say that, you watch the two of them stand. The kind of calm that was set on by Brahm seems to dissipate. They stand on high alert. His mouth opens up again, black void showing, her eyes wide in two black voids. And as you look closer, you realize this black void is filled with digital code. Ones and zeros run around in circles as if its own pattern, trying to say something. They stand at attention, and as they do, the door slams shut, locking behind itself. The six of you now locked inside this closet. The two ghosts, again at attention, begin to panic. Their figures begin to kind of fade away.
I'm gonna try and open the door and force it.
Go ahead. That would be a what is it called? A
Forceful.
Forceful. Thank you. I was gonna say might. That is not correct. It is a forceful.
I have a stunt that will give me protection against the occult when protecting myself or my friends from magic in specific. I don't know if this applies here.
There's no protection happening. The door seems to lock behind itself. So this is just a flat out like I'm gonna try to bash it open.
Is there any kind of mouse hole or anything?
Oh, that's an interesting thought. Okay, out of 3, you bash and bash and bash against the door. This door is locked. It seems to be, though there was nobody outside, it's like it's being barricaded in some way. Something does not want you to leave this room. Mouse, or you're looking for like small exits, is what you're saying?
Yes, small exit, anything like that.
Yeah, I would say that there's probably a small couple cracks where there might be a mouse or two here at the school.
I take out, drop my backpack, and there's something like little like carrots or something, and I place it down.
All right. There's a lot of activity and has been in this room, so nothing comes out right away. Like you just kind of set it down next to it. You might see a little shadow of something that's in there, but it seems very hesitant to come out. There's a lot of you.
I like whistle and call it with you like call it too.
Yeah, you kind of communicate with the animal.
Mm.
Yeah, it peeks its head out, a small little gray mouse, and it sniffs it and grabs the carrot with its front teeth and pulls it.
And immediately when it pokes its head out, my eyes like blank out, and I.
Yeah, you
use my
use your stunt. So you use your first fate point to basically enter the mind of this creature. When you come to, which you successfully do, you have a carrot in your mouth. It's very tasty to your mouse taste buds, and you realize you're inside of a crevice. The wall hollows out on the other side. You can feel it. It like opens up behind you. Just the hair and everything as it feels around. You turn around. I'm guessing you want to kind of navigate and search this area. Is that my understanding?
Yeah, I go back to the inside the hole and.
Yeah. When you do so, you realize that this mouse has a very intricate layout of tunnels and things like that. And it doesn't take you long as you kind of scutter about. It opens up into this giant space. If you are correct in your navigation, it's kind of hard from such a small angle. You've gone down, deeper into the school, like the little mouse holes go down. You come out the other side in a laboratory. This does not look like your school, but it's 100% underneath it. Everything around it seems to be labeled with the logo of the foundation. You potentially have found their headquarters.
Oh. And is there any kind of door in here?
Oh yeah. There's a couple doors that like go out deeper into whatever this kind of facility is. The room that you're staring in is very sterile. It has a lot of kind of metal things. There is one wall full of like tools and instruments. There seem to be some different kind of chemical, potentially alchemical experiments running on one side. Probably just about like you'd expect to see it.
And is there anyone in here?
No, this room seems to be empty, though it's very newly like empty. You can see like because you're low to the ground, the crack at the bottom of the door on the far side of the room. There seems to be people walking back into on the outside of this room.
I don't want to go in there.
Do you scutter back to the group?
I try to find other way into the outside the door of the archives.
Okay, yeah. So that's gonna be interesting because you're actually, the hole you went in is inside the room and you've gone down into the basement of the school. So it's gonna take you a while as a mouse to try to find your way and navigate all the way back up outside the door that you guys are locked inside of. Let me get a clever check from you because that's what this is. It's gonna require you to be very clever as to how to navigate back up. The rest of you notice that she has basically eyes right in the back of the head, is now just sitting there, not moving, not saying anything. What are the five of you up to?
Oh no, did the ghost get her?
Don't worry, I know CPR.
It's a ghost, Brom. Brom, you're killing me, man. You are
Alright,
literally
gotcha.
killing me right now.
Look, she is unconscious.
Can Petra send ghost friend to the headmaster? Like they send a picture of the headmaster, like his face, which is a crazy picture, to the headmaster, and send, like, have it come out of the phone and send it away.
Are we sure that he's not in on this somehow? Like,
Yeah, I never
mean,
trusted that dude.
No, but we're locked in a room.
Yeah, you are currently not sure that he's not involved, but your ghost friend pops out of the cell phone. It clatters to the ground.
No.
Yeah, maybe a little scratch on the side, but not too bad. And your ghost friend pops through the wall, and dust poofs off of it as it just casts, all Casper style, as it runs. Hey, there's Steph, the bard. And the ghost like scutters through onto the headmaster's office.
So my intention was to also tell it to be invisible until it gets to the headmaster.
Okay, yeah, you can rightfully assume as it like exits the room, it goes, it knows that it's in danger if it's not invisible. Yeah.
Callum's gonna reach into one of his socks where he hid some chalk. He's always prepared. He was only told to hand over his pencils.
This is true.
And he's gonna just draw a hole in the door and see if that will make it through.
You see that really old movie with the ghost and they make the door with the chalk on the wall? You have to make a doorknob though. If you don't do the doorknob, it won't open.
I'm just imagining old school cartoons where where the character draws a hole and then anyone that walks over the hole now like falls through. So I'm hoping we can fall through the door or the wall, or
that's the hope.
Door is meant to be opened.
Well, ghosts are keeping it locked because I'm determined to save this stupid island. I don't know why.
All right, you guys hear the chalk like on this metal door. Are you drawing anything other than a hole?
Just a hole.
Great. Then it manifests as just a hole. Here's the thing. You expect it to let you through to the outside of the door. It does not. This hole does lead you to somewhere else, though you're not sure where. It's dark inside. There is no light. An eerie coldness kind of pours out on off of the side. We got that clever roll. That's a 4. You are clever. Slow, because you're a mouse and your feet are tiny, but you are clever enough to kind of, you're like, oh wait, this is the bathroom, the girl's bathroom on the 2nd floor. And you get back. As you get to the outside of the door in your mouse form, 2 things happen. A ghost, your ghost friend, poofs out and goes invisible as it exits the space. Then something weird happens. A circular hole appears on the door. Looking in from the outside, you see straight through into the archive room. The 4 or the 5 of them left, standing there staring at this hole. They don't seem to
Good,
see...
because that pauses my CPR. None of us want to happen.
None of us want that to happen.
That makes sense.
Yeah, sorry guys, I'm used to like creating things, not trying to subtract from stuff, so I don't really know what this.
But it works. Look, there is hole.
There is a hole, and you potentially could exit this room. Though those of you inside are unsure where it leads. In your little mousy form, you see them. Literally, it's like right through the door, but they seem to look past you as if they don't see what you see.
I try and hop over there.
Yeah. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, a little gray mouse just like bloops.
And
through the
a
door.
mouse. I try to catch.
I don't trust the hole, especially not with mice or a mouse popping out of it.
And I wake up back up.
The mouse now comes to in its own mind. You want to catch the mouse? Yeah. You like reach down and catch the mouse, and as you do so, it comes to now in your hands. The mouse is like, as it's like now scuttering about. Your friend.
Do not worry, little one. You are safe with Proud.
It kind of settles down. You have a calming demeanor, that's for sure. We've learned that today. But it kind of settles in your hands, but it shakes in fear as if it doesn't know who or how it managed to get here. Because the last time it checked, it had a carrot in its mouth. You know what I'm saying?
I pick up the carrots from the ground that I dropped, and I hand it to the mouse.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
I feed the carrot to the mouse. There you go, little one.
Crunches.
Everything is okay.
It feels a lot better. It stops shaking quite as much in fear. You have come back to, and you are in. Now this hole that you stare at, that you saw from the opposite side, is a black void. It does not go out into the hallway.
Yeah, I went back from there. Do you think it will? It might lead. It might be a two-way.
You came through there?
Yes,
You've been sitting here this whole time.
I was a mouse.
You were the mouse. Brahm's mouse?
You are not this mouse. This mouse is this mouse. Look.
Is there any kind of like well, I'm gonna crumble up some paper or something that came out on the boxes and throw it in the hole.
Okay. You toss it in as it goes through the hole. It almost you see for the first time. The darkness is this kind of vapory black essence. The piece of paper goes straight through until you can't see it anymore. You hear it hit something like a floor on the other side.
I just go through.
Screw that! I'm going out.
You jump through.
I'm gonna stay behind.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't trust this.
We were just told about a void and cold ones. This thing is emanating cold. I'm gonna wait and see.
So, okay.
Okay. Anybody that wants to go through absolutely can. There's nothing stopping you. So you step through this like kind of hole that's been drawn. A cold takes over as you pass through the smoky essence. You guys watch as she disappears, just like the paper did, into blackness. You can hear her footsteps, though you cannot see her.
Hey, Petra. You sound off? Are you okay?
Petra's gonna stick her head back. It's cold because this is the row of the cold ones. Let's use our brains and get out of here and be safe.
So show of hands, who walks through? There were 2 of you, right? Yeah,
I
okay.
don't think I can fit. Tiny hole is not as good as big prom.
All right, so you guys step through, the both of you. You feel the same thing. It takes a second for your eyes to adjust. You do step into kind of a black void essence. Everything around you is kind of smoky and foggy. As your eyes come to, off in the distance, you witness something. First off, there's a piece of paper at your feet. Okay, that got thrown through. But as you look farther off, the ground again covered by a black essence or black fog, there are 4 figures dressed in robes, matching robes, 2 faces that you recognize. Riley
Chet and Riley.
and the toaster. They stand there, holding hands with 2 others. They are surrounding some kind of piece of technology. As they chant, they'll chant a little bit and then they'll work on this piece of technology, imbuing it with some kind of magic. You can see it. It's kind of like powering up or charging up. Yeah, this is going on. They have not noticed the 2 of you yet.
Well, they will in a second. Because Petra is going to run up to the piece of technology and they are going to attempt to smash it.
Wow. Okay. Well,
Because they believe this is outer science and you're not destroying my world. You're not doing it. Even if it comes at the cost of my life, you're not doing it. At least not now.
okay.
Can we see this from the outside?
You cannot. You guys can hear the 2 of them walking. You know, like Petra and like, especially if you're running now, you hear those like feet, the footsteps, and anything that you guys say, you can hear. But
Is everything okay in there?
Petra doesn't reply.
from the opposite side, you guys hear. It seems so far away. Is everything okay in there? There.
You ever get tunnel vision for something? That is what I am imagining Petra. I don't think Petra even recognizes the sound other than the chanting.
Okay, so we've got 0 communication back from them. What do we do? Who someone go next, or
I think they're
should we
dead.
should we keep throwing paper in?
Can I just open the
I
door?
pick up the paper and I throw it back.
Piece of paper, the same one, comes through. Behind it, a small trail of black smoke.
Maybe you can do that mouse trick again.
No one hurts my mouse.
It squeaks in your hands.
We see the paper, right?
Mhm,
Cal,
yeah.
I'm gonna hand them the crumpled paper. Do you still have that pencil that they snuck to you before this?
Always, yeah.
Draw like a gun or something on there and throw it back through.
A gun?
I
Those are dangerous.
I don't think I can.
Guns.
Yeah, I don't think I can draw complex machinery.
I don't think I
it'll do
can
much.
draw conflict. I mean, you could definitely give it a try.
So how about like a bat?
I can
Or
draw
like-
like a little like raccoon or something.
Oh, you can. That's good.
Show's
I
about to
like
go into like straight up trash fire mode.
Alright, he'll sketch out a little
I'm just
raccoon.
going to open the door. And I put the mouse on my shoulder and I'm just gonna like rip the door off, like the whole thing.
Oh wow!
The door is attached to the wall somehow and it's not gonna be for much longer.
So you're gonna try to pull the door off the hinges.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and make that forceful check.
I'm wheeling it.
Ah, I won. That's pretty decent. Hey! This door!
Yeah, it seems pretty solid. And whatever has it like locked or closed off seems to be extra assertive.
Can you draw me hammer or chisel?
I guess, yeah.
Time for that. They sent the paper back. They
But
probably
I
just
don't
get
fit
some.
through hole.
I don't want to go in the hole.
Yeah.
Giving me.
I don't want to go in there either.
You guys are picking up on small. If you're inside of the void, you're picking up on small things. You hear voices like, "Don't go in the hole. Oh, oh. Can I get a hammer? Hammer, hammer." Like, just like small pieces of the conversation are coming through.
I'm gonna
Big hammer. Or maybe
I'm gonna turn the flashlight on my phone and just stick only my hand in the hole.
A hand with a flashlight comes through the other side. It almost kind of like tinks you in the back. Because Petra, you said you're walking towards them, right?
Running.
Yeah, running towards them. Great. Yeah, it almost like hits you in the back a little bit. This hammer, or this hand and hammer. Now,
So I've started running and I'm not any closer, or is this happening earlier in the timeline?
So it's kind of happening as it's going on. So you begin running towards them. Your feet carry you. It's taking you longer than it should. You're running at full pace. You should be there by now.
I take the hammer.
Hammer, it's real. Raise hand. Real.
And I throw it to Petra.
Okay. I think their back is to you, so
You just hear something kind of at your feet. It like ting 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 tings at your feet. Hammer.
they pick it up. They're a little. This is weird. But they pick it up.
Mhm.
Guess this would be better than smashing it with my fists.
Yeah, you're like, okay, let me start again, and you start to run. You are closing the gap, but again, it's taking you it's like running on the moon. You don't get anywhere quickly. The ground doesn't move under your feet the way that it should. Maybe gravity works different, you're not sure.
Can I try to jump?
Sure. Yeah, you make kind of a jumping motion. There's no roll needed for that. You jump and you cross some space. But this time when you land, there's a sound that's made. And the 4 cultists stop what they're doing. Hand in hand, they stop the chant. They turn and look. Your 2 classmates, Chet and Riley, a smile crosses their face. One of being in the know, and they simply turn to what you didn't even realize is another kind of portal. It's like a black essence, and they step through. The 2 of them disappear. The other 2 cultists turn and look at you. One of them flips a switch on the machine. The other one reaches his hand outward, towards you.
I know. Run. Go back through. Take the hand and go.
Just get out.
And I take hand and knock it out.
You plop out. You guys watch. One person. Petra, you're following? Nope, you stay in the void?
I'm taking them on. I'm destroying this piece of technology.
Alrighty then.
I'm doing what I set out to do.
Okay.
Or die trying.
This cultist steps between you and it. It does have its hand out, but I'll give you first action. You are kind of in range now, I guess you could say, of it. You're about 60 feet from the machine and about 30 from the cultist.
Does it look like if Petra tried to throw the hammer at something is powering it? Like a crystal or a screen?
Oh, okay. Make a clever check. That's definitely a clever check, because this is a very high-end piece of technology, and more importantly, it's occult science. So, okay.
3.
Out of 3, that's not so bad. You definitely know it's being powered by occult magics because you watch them pour occult magics into it.
Right.
It's definitely on now because it glows an odd color. Whatever switch was flipped turned it on. What it does, you don't know. They were dumping energy into kind of 4 points on either corner of it. There are these cylinders that seem to have some kind of liquid in them, and it's almost like, I guess you could call it a battery, and that's what's holding the occult energies.
Okay.
4.
In theory, I'm assuming it's a roll to attempt to hit one of them.
It will be.
What kind of roll would it be?
If it is a melee attack, it is considered a forceful roll.
Okay. Cool. Well, I'm gonna throw it.
Okay.
And hope for the best.
Great, go for it.
While she's doing this, I know it's come back through to our side, right?
Correct.
I know
didn't
what's going
fail.
on over there. What's on the other side of this hole?
The void. There were occultists there in, and Petra is fighting
There's-
this big
There's
machine.
cultists in here
Yes.
with Petra.
Yes.
What are they trying to do?
Brom,
Yes.
Brom,
They
your
were-
force is needed in the hole. You got to go help Petra.
I can't go through the hole. It's too small.
We'll
I am
push
not
you
a
through.
tiny man.
I can help you out. We can push you through. Somehow.
Yeah. There was this
I-
really old cartoon with this like bear. He got stuck in holes all the time, and
Yeah, we can do it. We can go.
You still have your chalk cannons? Make the hole a little bit bigger.
oh, I don't know. I don't know if that'll just draw another hole or not.
Just do it. Oh, no.
Give it a go.
All right.
You
so
kind
makes
of
the hole as big
expand
as
it.
possible.
There's a small like rumble that happens as if it's trying to decide, are you putting a portal in a portal? Or are you merging
The whole
two?
universe.
What's the
Yeah,
worst that
and,
could
it,
happen?
and then sure enough, the portal like, and it kind of gets more oblong than circular, so like it's easier to fit through because obviously the door doesn't get wider, but it can get taller.
Now
So-
you're thinking
yeah,
with portals.
yeah. Now you're thinking
Oh.
with portals.
There we go. There we go. I'm going through.
Woo, you guys kind of plop through.
Yeah, we all go. I go lowest.
Yeah, everybody that wants to go through is welcome to. And as you step through, you feel that same cold. It feels like you're standing in a freezer. And as you stare
just like
down,
home.
I take my, I grab a steel frying pan and go through.
yeah, when you hop through, you guys see Petra as she launches the hammer, and it towards the cultist. Does not hit them. Totally dodges it. It tings into the machine behind him.
Which was totally where Petra was aiming.
It tings into the machine. A valve lets loose and steam begins like pouring out of it. You watch the cultist mouth no, but you hear nothing.
I
That
didn't,
man wears robes of evil cultist.
I didn't tell you guys to come back through. That was not my intention. I know. By sending you back,
You didn't tell us not to come back through either, so now here we all are.
Got a point.
Yes. Help me, Petra. I see you.
can
I walk over to the cultist and I
observe
just
the
grab
machine?
him.
I try and sneak behind the machine.
Okay, so first off, travel works differently here. It's gonna take you a lot longer than you think. Petra seems very far away, and as you guys begin like running towards her, again, your feet don't travel at the same rate. You're like running and running and running and running, and you're just not closing the gap as fast as you think, like physically speaking, you should be. Petra, you hear them behind you. The cultist turns and looks at you, eyes now devoid of anything but black holes. They seem very upset that you have messed the machine up.
This
would
is
be
like
too if I
running
was
in 2
trying to
feet of
enter her.
snow.
Okay.
I run straight at Petra and try to defend them because I like my power is that I'm more resilient towards magic.
Okay. Oh, okay. So, I'm gonna give basically this turn, and then you guys will be able to reach Petra. So the cultist reaches their hand out. They seem very upset with you.
Okay.
When it does this, you think it's going to send some kind of attack or something. It doesn't. You guys watch as the void behind you begins to close. The hole begins to shrink in size. It focuses as if it's trying to close it. Its eye twitches with the amount of power and energy it takes to achieve such things.
No.
Petra, you get one more turn and then the gang can join you.
I'm gonna tackle him.
Okay, great. Another forceful check.
This is totally not what Petra was built for.
It's all right. They're gonna come help you.
Hopefully,
Oh,
I can.
they're gonna come help you. Okay,
Better than last time.
It's a success.
it is a success. You do manage to tackle them. Like, right into them. No real damage is done. There's no stress that's taken to them physically because you're not like bashing a head. It's just a tackle. You guys watch as Petra and the black-robed figure collide, now laying prone on the ground. The 5 of you have kind of made it into the general vicinity.
Is there any kind of so what was the power that was in the room?
So this thing seems to be powered by 4 cells, is the only thing I know to call them. These kind of cylindrical cells that have some kind of blue goo in them that are magically charged. Petra did some damage to the machine. It's now like spewing steam out of a valve that she broke with the hammer that hit a misplaced target, basically.
I try and hit the tube.
You want to hit it again?
Yeah.
Cool. Make a forceful check. What about the other 4 of you? What action would you like to take? We're gonna do this narratively.
I'm gonna help Petra tackle the cultist.
Okay.
I was also heading towards the cultist, but
Great.
I realized I'm still carrying the mouse.
You are.
I'm like, this is no place for the mouse. And then I contemplate throwing him through the hole so he's safe.
Aw.
But then that'd probably kill him. So I keep him and continue on to tackle the cultist.
I don't know if you've got like a pocket or something. Maybe you set it on your head. It hangs on. Like this mouse is like, this is not what I signed up for today. I just wanted a carrot, dude. And it hangs so you can hear it like as it is along for the ride at this point.
Only Brom's got a hoodie on, so you can just tuck the mouse in the hoodie.
And the hood. It does hang on. It seems to maybe be a friend now. Yeah, the main
I'm sure
quest
he has
saved
tons
the
of
mouse.
pockets, so it's just like, he wears overalls, so...
Oh yeah, your overalls always have that like front pocket, that square front pocket. Mouse is now like, you can see it maybe even tucks to hide itself a little bit every once in a while. What about Callum? Who said they were helping with the tackle? Okay, anybody helping with the tackle, also make a forceful roll, because now the cultist is basically going to try to stand up, and you guys can keep it pinned down, them pinned down.
How many cultists are still there?
There is a single cultist left, though the machine seems to be activated at this point. There was an on switch.
Boy, I'm not having the best luck.
That's okay. The good news is they only have a 1, so a 1 is all you need to be able to hold it down. And between the 3 of you guys are successfully. The cultist, again, its eyes have that deep void in it. Code circles around it, 1s and 0s, as it wrestles and struggles back and forth.
Can I scan the area we're in to see if there's any kind of control panel for the machine or like an access panel of some kind?
You can make a clever roll to learn, just because you're technology savvy, you could probably learn what you need. The control, everything seems to be isolated to this. It's about 4 foot tall, about 3 foot long. It's this big machine.
That sounds like the first computer.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. It's this big machine. On a 2, there is some kind of like keypad that's on it. Very simple. There's no keyboard. It's a number pad. The valve that has been broken seems to be spewing steam, which tells you that this is steam powered as well as magic powered. That there are two aspects to this. There is a gauge, like another screen on it, that has multiple kind of like bars that are gauging things. One of them seems to be, as the steam like spews and gives and takes, you can tell that it's fluctuating in the red. This is not good. Your gut tells you this is bad news bears.
Let's see. I would like to try to I don't want to shut the machine down, but can I isolate that one cell somehow?
Yeah, you could probably isolate the steam cell. What are you trying to do to it?
Like just kind of disperse it where it's evenly distributed amongst the 3 working cells.
Yeah, you need. Okay. Yeah, so the 4 cells are actually magic cells. The steam cell runs along the center.
Okay.
Imagine kind of like the way a car engine, like a block is. There's the steam piece runs along the center. It needs to be patched to level it, because right now there's a high probability that this is volatile and may explode.
Is there anything around that looks like I can use to patch this? Probably not.
What have you got on you?
I don't, just my phone.
Just my phones? You may be able to find something. There are different ways. It's just steam, so roll another character check. And then while you do that, let's hop to the next person. What is Callum up to?
All right. We'll see if you'll allow this because it's pretty nuts.
All right, let's do it.
I'd like to be able to try to draw, like, one of the smartest, like, well-known scientists with magic that, like, we know of in history of magic, and see if I can, like, manifest him to help.
Wow. All right. So,
It's pretty nuts, I know.
it is pretty nuts. I'm definitely going to have to ask you to use a fate point on this one, and you're definitely going to have to roll. What is your base roll for that stunt? Is it clever?
Either clever or flashy, I don't know.
Let's make this a clever roll, because you're literally trying to manifest the cleverest person there has been.
Yes,
let's see how this clever
Come
roll
on,
is.
mess it up, derpy face. Let's go.
Yeah, let's derp this. Let's see how derpy he gets. Okay, at a 2. You're a relatively good artist. The sketch itself is still a sketch, which means when it manifests, it looks like that 80s music video. What's that one?
Take on me.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's like the Take On Me video. It's like a little weird. He comes off the page, but at a 2, he seems to be kind of like Doodle Bob from SpongeBob. He's a little chaotic. He's not quite all there. It stands up and it attempts to communicate, but again, the void. It's like blah, 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 blah.
Just go help stop that thing from exploding.
Blah, 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 blah. And it kind of runs over to the machine and begins, like, it shoves its hands in and tries to start doing something. It's just a black and white sketch, and as it turns to the side, you realize that the 2 it didn't become 3-dimensional. It's just like a paper version, but it is attempting to do something.
Did you add your bonus for your stunt in there?
Yes.
I don't have a stunt that is exactly applicable.
Gotcha.
But you did add the +2, so that was your clever +2.
Yes.
So kind of close.
That's good enough for me.
He seems to be messing with something. All right. At a 2 for your clever check, Ray, you realize that this is steam. You are a tech person, but you could potentially wet some fabric in some way. You can always wet fabric and bind it, because if it's water, the steam can't escape through it. So if you might be able to find a way to bind it off and help balance it out a little bit. Ooh. Yes, that's what the void sounds like.
All right, let's so let's see. Belt's made out of leather, but
You have a shirt on.
yeah, I'll rip a piece of my shirt, and
You have a shirt on.
Cal, can you draw like a jug of water?
I can try.
Give it a go.
All right, what should I roll for this?
That is, let's see. I don't know. Let me pull your character sheet up. I would think that's probably also a clever roll if that's how you have your character laid out. But
he was mostly designed to be like distraction. So
right, yeah.
clever. He is clever.
Okay, this is a flashy advantage. You can use flashy. Like, I'm looking at your character sheet. Let's use flashy. Yeah.
Cool. Oh yeah, there we go.
It's the flashiest jug that has ever been. It comes into
Like Swarovski.
yeah, it's like very nice Pier 1 jug. And it is full of water. He like drew the line and there's some kind of liquid in it. You're able to pour it on and bind this off. When you do, you watch the steam stop seeping out, and the level kind of, it's still in the yellow, but it is not in the red.
My whole point was to blow up the machine. Just
You can't
saying.
blow it up with everyone inside.
All right.
Well, I didn't expect you all to be here.
You can't blow it up with you inside.
The cultist is still like, "Ugh," begins to kind of fight you. The portal
Be
did
quiet,
not
you.
finish.
Bump him on the head.
All right, make a forceful check. Let's see
I
if
was
it
gonna
takes
say,
some
I'm gonna
damage.
punch him too.
Oh
But
my god, you guys are just totally ganging up on this cultist.
trying to end the world.
There
I'm
we
gonna.
go.
I want to look for the switch that the cultist flipped.
Nice. Okay,
Should we all punch him? Let's
yeah.
all punch
So
him.
anybody that
I
wants
think
to,
my punch was enough.
I was about to say, anybody that
success.
wants to punch him can. So out of 4, this is bad news bears. So we get the first one, we get the second one, and we get a third one. All of them do extreme damage. So they only have a track of 3. So bad news is that they're going to take not only 2 stress, which knocks out their 2, they're going to have to move the other 2 to a moderate consequence. You watch as his head bashes open. Bram bashes his head open. Blood begins to pour out. His skull is
that was
partially
not supposed to happen.
partially showing. That was a big old hit. Then Taigo follows up behind with another one, knocking out the first stress box and making a mild consequence as his teeth pop out of his face. Followed by the 3rd hit, which knocks out the final stress box, leaving 1 consequence. But this guy is, you guys have basically just like beat the crap out of him with your fist. He lays there still breathing, but like the weight is heavy. You can tell that they're very injured. They stop fighting you. The closing of the portal stops. The hole is about 2 foot by 2 foot. And something...
I'm sorry, evil cult man. I did not mean to hit you so hard.
You totally did, Brom. He's trying to end the world.
When this happens, you notice for the first time the hood that they were wearing kind of falls back and away, now blood-soaked. As you walk over to flip the switch, you have seen this face. You flipped through a file that is 20 years old this morning in the deceased files. That was marked. You see this. I know. This is one of those students. They lay there now, like I said, kind of passed out, breathing heavily, missing teeth, blood seeping from their head. As you walk over, and you want to just flip the switch that they flipped?
Yeah.
You flip the switch. The steam part stops functioning. The 4 cylindrical, like magical batteries continue to kind of like pulse this blue energy. The machine, the screen and face is just like boom and shut down.
Hooray!
That is one of the dead kids.
So I suppose we'll be in detention forever for murdering someone.
No. He's not just said that he was already dead.
Yeah, that's
Not
double
kill
jeopardy.
someone.
It's not my fault. So something interesting
Double
happens. Petra, the hair on the back of your neck stands up.
Okay.
Your ghost is back.
My ghost friend.
Your ghost friend is back. It doesn't like appear nothing corporeal, but they're there in your presence. You know it. They're feeding you these vibrant colors of red and black, which you know means they are in a panic.
They are also probably getting red and black back.
There's like, it's like feeding back and forth, and they're trying to tell you, bad, headmaster coming, bad. Yeah.
We're nowhere near done with cleaning up the room.
Yeah, no goat cheese pizza for you, Brom. I'm
You-
sorry.
Actually,
Throw all the
Everything
boxes
is
into this hole and put all the boxes in this universe.
that's actually really funny. But something happens. You guys look back to the partially closed portal, like I said, which is about like 2 by 2 now. You could crawl through it, but it will be a tight spot, and you're gonna have to crawl like hands and knees. And something happens, the perspective of it looking in the room, it like shifts as if the door swings open. You hear the click of heels. He goes, where are they? Where are those delinquents? Detention for life! Detention for life!
We're over here.
Behind it, again, it's kind of feeding through the voice. You're getting this echo. 2 voices. Chet and Riley.
Those bastards.
Chet goes, I'm telling you, sir, I saw them. They were doing illegal things. She goes, yeah, I know. We just got back from vacation. We were coming to pick up our makeup work, and I saw it. They walked through a portal.
That sounds like the bodies of Chet and that girl,
Those.
which are possessed by evil spirit things.
No. They went through a portal. They must have gotten to the headmaster before my spirit did. And
Or your spirit got there, and he didn't believe the ghost and believed them instead.
fuck the 2 of them.
Damn those popular kids. And he goes, that's it. Where are you? And he closes the door again, realizing that you guys aren't in the room. Like, he doesn't see you there. The portal is now open and empty, like staring back at its original position.
Well, let's go explain. And I drag the cultist back
How about,
and try to
how about
shove
we
him
just
through the
leave
portal.
Well, actually, the cultist is like our only concrete piece of evidence. Hey,
Right.
hey, Bray, before you go back, can you take a picture of this technology so we can show the headmaster?
Oh yeah, I've been videoing.
Oh,
Okay.
and
The whole
I go to the. I'm posing like hitting the cylinders,
Uh-huh.
6 cylinders.
Yeah, you want to
Maybe
like pull.
don't show the part where I break someone's head open, huh? I would be so disappointed.
Are you trying to remove the cylinders or are you trying to break them?
Break them.
Okay, that's not hard. They're glass. You can easily use the hammer to break them. When you do, blue goo pours out along the floor.
I'm saying like I'm doing it as the Ray is going takes a picture.
You go to take the picture and they're mid-swing as you like cracking the first one. Pictures taken, you guys have a very solid picture of the mechanism and the machine. You break all 4 of these, no problem. They're just glass. And this blue goo pours out on this floor. It radiates this magic essence. And as it all hits the ground, it coagulates together. It draws into itself. Into this kind of pool of gross, gooey, kind of
Does it look
blue
like
slime.
what was out in the hallway?
It does not look like what was out in the hallway. This looks different. It pulsates and kind of undulates back and forth in this like gooey puddle. I guess you guys are all pretty close. You hear things, screams from other dimensions, odd tongues and whispers. The goo then begins to move across the floor. It slips itself underneath the machine, and as it completely does so, the machine whoops through the floor. As if it has absorbed and taken the machine in. You don't know if it's gone somewhere else. If it ate it, you don't know. But all that's left standing is this gooey pile and a black essence. And the 5 of you stand there.
Well, shit.
Let's get out of here.
You
That's
opened the
very
boss
strange.
monster. You let the boss monster out.
I was going to try to blow up the machine, so hopefully the said boss monster would have blown up.
Friends, let us not fight. We are on the same side. Let's go back to what the better world, which is not like this.
It's not
And
the
then
better.
we will talk.
Brum, listen to me. Chet and Riley are possessed by this.
Right,
a
so let's
portion.
find them and kick their butts.
Oh yeah, let's kick the 2 most popular people in the world. I mean, in our world's butts. That will go over well. I mean, you already heard him. We're in detention for life.
What about the cultist though? He's still alive. They're still alive.
Mostly.
We'll just start a smear campaign to ruin their popularity.
Yeah, because anyone will listen to the 6 of us.
It's
So-
not gonna
Sure,
raise
the
too many
real
questions.
ghosts of Chet and the girl will help us.
They're
Yeah, it
supposed
won't
to be
raise
dead.
too many questions on showing up with this 20-year-old dead guy.
What was that, Colonel?
Yeah, the cultist is supposed to be dead. We can show that there's something wrong about it.
Okay, I wish I would have ran out of the room sooner before all of this happened. Guess we should just face the music.
There is music. Hooray!
So the plan is to exit. Is that my understanding?
Yes.
Yeah.
Great.
I'm already stuffing the dude through the hole.
Yeah, you plop the like passed out cultist body through first. Each of you crawl through into this space. As you do so, you hear something interesting. All of you kind of come through, you dust yourselves off, you crawl out. The hole still in a much smaller hole, but a hole still in the back of the door. It now seems to be unlocked. And when you guys open it and swing it open, the entire hallway is filled as if it is a weekday. Time seems to have
Filled with
passed
people?
differently. And students.
Oh,
The bell rings.
Do I see Riley or Chet? Out of curiosity.
Not at first glance. No. But you do see a lot of like students because again, you guys are kind of at a dead end hallway that's really just a trophy space. So the the perpendicular hallway, you see students like passing by, running to class, books dropping on the floor, usual activity. You're not sure what day of the week it is, but it is definitely not Sunday anymore.
But maybe everyone came to school for fun and parties.
I
I want to check my one of my phones and see if I'm connected to the network in the same way that I was before.
You are.
What date does your phone say? Like day of the week?
It's Wednesday. 3 days have passed.
Oh shit.
What?
It's after lunch, and as you hack in, Ray, make me one more clever check.
We missed Taco Tuesday?
You missed Taco Tuesday. It's meatloaf today. I'm sorry.
This is sad news.
As you kind of click and scroll, something catches your eye. 5 files have been encoded and set to the side, along with a series of other files labeled deceased.
Oh shit.
Petra, Brahm, Ray, Callum, Tago. I know.
Even the little mouse.
Yeah, even the little mouse. You guys have been labeled missing. You've been labeled missing.
I don't know all this because I don't use phones.
You
really.
do not.
So I'm like, friends, guess where we have been?
Not the place, but
We've got
But we should tell them about
no,
the weird
not the place, but
Also,
good news and bad news for you guys. The good news, well, the bad news, I guess, would be like we're missing. But the good news is that we're not really missing because we're still right here. So
yeah, I think that's the you know what, the Foundation's way of saying that we're like extra watched.
That's actually probably the most true statement that's been said today.
Perhaps overwatched.
Oh!
Here's love the cavalry.
And as you guys stand there, kind of trying to figure this out, door to the closet open, the boxes that were in the hallway that you so beautifully, Brahm, loaded out, have now been brought back in because the task was never actually completed. And the janitor stands there, dusting. He has like one of the cases open, the trophy case slid open. He's dusting some of the trophies off. He looks down the hallway at all of you and a smile crosses his face.
Jerry!
I feel like you know something we don't know, Jerry.
Oh, Jerry is just Jerry, he smiles. Though, you may want to watch yourselves.
Jerry, do you know CPR or more medical things? Look, we have this. And I show him the old guy.
Jerry looks at the cult guy and smiles. Everybody roll me your final clever check.
Oof. I think he's one of the guys. That's my money is on that.
Wow, wow, wow. All right, it is. I see. Okay, Ray. Wait. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, yeah. Ray is the only one. Ray, when you look at there's a lot of blood and missing teeth. That cultist is a younger version of Jerry. This is Jerry's younger self or younger body.
Oh,
Jerry smiles at all of you and he says, "Looks like I'm gonna have to take out the trash." And that is where we end today's episode
No, you can't.
of
do
the
that.
Breakfast Cult.
Oh,
That is a great moment to go out on.
Time to take out the trash.
didn't want last time, Rob. Didn't want last time.
So things have begun to mix. So first things first, thank all of you. I apologize if there was any weird sound things. Obviously, I'm not my usual setup, so let me just say that first off.
Yeah.
So let's go around. I'm gonna let cast and crew, you guys tell us again who you are and where we can find you online, because I'm sure that all of you are busy doing amazing things. And this time we're gonna go backwards. So let's start with Anarch Dobie.
Okay, so I am Anarch. You can pretty much find me pretty much everywhere as Anarch. And I'm usually at the Discord, and I play at the Fumbles and Fame Discord channel, that is international D&D community that all welcome here.
Very cool. Very, very cool. Yeah. Kilt?
So I am on Twitter at the Celts. I do like some painting stuff here and there, and then every other Monday. Are we playing this Monday?
As far as I know, unless you can,
Yeah, so-
somebody else can.
This Monday, and then every other Monday, I'm on an Uncanny Adventure. We're doing a Down Dark Betrayals with Lulu,
Cool.
and then I frequent Dot's Discord, so it's kind of like my second home. Always
True
there.
story. It's also my second home. It's been all day on Discord. And if you guys want to join that Discord, I just dropped it in chat for you. It is an open community. You are always welcome to join the Dot Lot. Even if you don't play tabletop games, we've got a ton of other forums where we talk everything from like art to the things that we're binge watching to putting pictures of your pets online. So
We're
literally.
very well-rounded geeks.
We are we're so well-rounded that I'm constantly like, you can't add any more new forums, Dot. Like, you cannot add any more. This is it. I'm cutting it off. Awesome. And next up, we're just gonna keep moving down the line.
Who's next?
You are.
Oh, okay. I'm Quixotic. You can find me at Quixotic on Twitter. You can also find me on the Greyhawk channel every Tuesday night at 8 Eastern. We're playing a campaign called The Dying Kingdom Iron Heroes. And you can also find my voice in an audio drama called Fangirls that the third
Ooh.
episode just released. It's about a group of women taking a road trip to go see episode 9 of Star Wars. I play one of the characters' husbands.
I love that so much. That's awesome. Very cool. Next up, Colonel RPG.
Yeah, I'm Colonel RPG, and I do YouTube Let's Plays of computer role-playing games. This is the first time I'm doing sort of tabletop actual role-playing games.
Oh.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dot, and thank you so much, folks, because you are amazing, and I was super nervous. And I was a little bit still nervous midway through, but yeah, you can find me on Twitch here as well. I also play here on Twitch.
Nice. And you guys did great. I told you, I promised that we would get through it together. Because we were all very new to this system, very new to this game. And I'll chat about that here at the end. Paladin Hulk.
Hi. You can find me playing RPGs every other Sunday, yes, on Uncanny Adventures, where I play a pirate who's also a paladin, which causes a lot of problems. He tries to follow the rules on a pirate ship, and pirates don't follow rules, and it all gets very confusing.
Yes.
And I'm also, like, in a couple of weeks, Maggie's going to launch her charity game again, and I'm going to be playing this guy. No, he's not quite that voice. I'm working on it. I'm getting it right. He's old. He's super old. He has dementia. He's looking for his wife. His wife has been dead for years. So it's all very sad, and it's gonna be one huge mess.
PH has all the voices.
Yeah, I can do a lot of them.
You
and
can.
they're all
Awesome. Very cool. Yeah, keep us posted on that. And last but certainly not least, Theater Nerd.
Hi, my name is Theater Nerd. I do a lot of things, and they all seem to take place on Sunday and Monday because those are my days off. So I suppose I should start. You can find me, probably the easiest way to follow what I'm involved in is to follow me on Twitter. I am in a game in an hour and a half over on SS Adventure, where I play an Azamar Barbarian named Ezla. Barbarian is like a combination that really shouldn't work, and it kind of doesn't, but it's kind of a lot of fun all at the same time. Because my character currently is out of rages, so now she's got to sling spells. Actually be a bard. That is Sunday at 3 Eastern. Every other Monday, I'm in a Hunter the Vigil game that I won't be at this week over on Villandris' channel. I'm missing that game because I'm working. I'm also in the Call of Cthulhu game with Celts, where my character tends to do a lot of impulsive things like try to save the world. And it usually doesn't end. It hasn't been ending well for them lately.
We're fine.
There to help you.
And then on the opposite Monday, so not tomorrow Monday, but the next week, I actually run a Ravnica game over on my Twitch channel, courtesy of North by Northwest and the charity games that you guys ran before the end of the year or recently. I can't. Time is weird. So I just felt like I had to run a game. My players really like it, and I have really bad imposter syndrome.
Oh, please. I'm sure it's great.
That's what they try to tell me.
Very, very cool. Well, everybody, I am Dot.
Hey, very good job, too, by the way, Dot. That
Thanks,
was
Shane.
very chaotic there for a minute, I could tell.
Yeah, it got definitely the setup. Like I said, it's always weird when you go from your rig to somebody else's rig, because, like, for example, everything is attached to my Dropbox, right? When you show up to somebody else's rig, your Dropbox is not here, so like none of my overlays were in place, and so it was a little panic to get started. And definitely, like I said, I appreciate everybody's patience through the sound issues, because on my end it all looks normal, but I never know what's being fed through. So I appreciate you guys letting me know. I appreciate your patience and helping me figure that out. That was very kind of all of you.
That it took us so long to notice.
Me too. Yeah.
In Zoom.
I had no idea. Because like I said, even in playback, like even when I was listening to it, I'm not picking up on it. Like it's not coming through my speakers, but then again, like I'm listening to 1,000 things, right? So there's no telling. So the good news is
it was a testament to your talents to be able to pull this off. It went pretty.
Yep.
I'm glad that's what you guys think. I have you all full. No. So
Kept it together.
Fake it till you make it. That's what I always say.
Yeah, fake it till you make it. So here's what's about to go down. First off, I want to thank you all for being here for Sunday Funday. Next Sunday Funday, actually, we're going to probably be running 2 in the month of June because the afternoon one that was supposed to happen got canceled because obviously I'm in like full-on con life, and they literally would not let me rent a booth for like 8 hours. So I only got one. But we're going to be running our regular one June 9th. So that's coming up, and then I think we're going to run a second one in the month of June, a special little one where we get some more D&D in. I think I'm going to run some content from the new Salt Marshes game that came out. I've got some cool things coming out of that. So yeah, be on the lookout. You can in fact sign up for those. I believe there are still a few June ones left. Let's double check that that's the right sign up link. I think it is. Yeah, and you guys should be good to go. So please come join me. This is a community game. It is only made possible when all of you come. And really the dot lot is why I do this. You guys inspired me to create a space where we could tell stories together. And I'm not just always on other people's channels. But that being said, there are a few other places you can check me out.
Link is outdated.
Yep.
It is outdated?
I was just typing that.
Oh, that's okay. No worries. Here's what I'll do. I can grab that corrected link for you.
While you're doing that, can I just say thank you as one of the people who convinced you to run a fake game?
Yeah,
this was
me
a lot
too.
of fun.
Fake.
I still don't feel like I have a handle on the system at all,
Nope.
but it was a lot of fun and it was something different.
That's the cool thing
I
about
like D&D is great, but I've hit kind of my maximum D&D.
Well, and really that's what got me into Fate.
This was.
Go ahead.
Yeah, this was fun.
Yeah, good. I'm glad you liked it because I know it was very new for all of you. And I've played a lot of Fate Core, but Fate Accelerated is very, very easy. So first off, we will continue to run the Breakfast Cult. So that's the first thing to know. If you want to be in on this, Sunday Fundays will start looking like D&D, Breakfast Cult right afterwards. And I put together a little video helping you walk through the character building process. The really cool thing about the Breakfast Cult that I love is it's completely integrated into Roll20. So if you're a GM and you want to use and try Fate Accelerated for the first time, it's a very inexpensive build and you can buy it on Roll20. I think it's like $7 or $8 and you get everything. You get pre-made characters, you get all of the different like gods and things that are going on. There's examples and a character building 101, like an orientation handbook for your players. It is brilliant. So hats off and kudos to Evil Hat Productions for really stepping their game up and integrating this into Roll20.
Yay!
I did just drop a new link for signups. That should be the corrected link. That will get you to signups if you are interested in doing so, and I highly encourage you to. After that, I release signups to our Patreon first. So if you want first access to the next 3 months of signups, join the Patreon, and then after that, once Patreon has had a couple days to get their date selected, then we open it up to the general public where you're allowed to sign up for a game every like 3 months basically, so I can get as many people in as possible.
It's fun. You should play.
Hence the Funday part of it. It is also open to new players and beginners. You don't
Like
have,
all of us.
Like all of you. You do not have to know anything. If you just want to come have fun, if you just want to tell stories, or you just want to try D&D, you want to try Fate Core or Fate Accelerated, this is your chance. So come hang out with us, because that's what I want it to feel like, is us just hanging out. So I'm going to let these lovely people go.
You forgot to tell us where we can find you.
Oh,
for
right,
other RPG.
right. Well, first off, the best thing to do is just find me right there. Little red dot, Twitch and Twitter. Let me do this. I believe I have a social link. So you can check me there on all the different places. This weekend I'll be finishing up, obviously, MomoCon. You can actually catch me again right here on this channel if you need more RPG in your day. We will be bringing back the Owl of Lycia this evening, 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is a original world built by Marcy Vellon using the Cypher system. It is beautiful. She is one of my absolute favorite GMs. Like, she is just amazing. So I am beyond honored and thrilled to be hosting them on the channel and giving the Owl of Lycia a new home. So come out, watch that. And I guess that's today. After that, Tuesdays, you can check out Witch Girl Adventures. Everybody loves it. That is our Patreon supported game. We will be moving into our 5th episode this upcoming Tuesday of an 8-session campaign. And then, let's see. Thursdays, you can check me out in another Cypher System game called Men of Letters over on Unmade Gaming's channel, which is basically your, like, diesel punk, 1920s kind of Lovecraftian world. And then on Saturdays, you can catch me at my home away from home over on Roll For It. I will be back this Saturday after 3 Saturdays off. Well, this upcoming Saturday after 3 Saturdays off for their Game of Thrones campaign that they have launched, Game of Thrones Riverlands. And I am so excited to be back. I've been 3 weeks away and I'm missing them. So definitely go support them.
We've been missing you on it.
I missed you guys so much. I was like, I feel so lost without my weekly Roll For It stream. So I will be back at that this upcoming Saturday. So lots and lots of things going on. The best way to keep track of all that is just to follow me on social media, because trust me, I post enough to make sure you know what is happening in my life. But right now, I'm going to let these guys go, and we're going to spend the last 20 minutes that I have here in this amazing booth at MomoCon that they have given me to chat about all kinds of things, including a pretty sweet sneak preview that I got of an upcoming Evil Hat game called For the Queen. I've got a hard deck of cards I'm going to show you guys. I'm so excited. And then we're going to chat also about what happened over at D&D Live last weekend over in LA. So give me just a second. We're going to transition over and we will we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. All right. There we go. Okay, you guys should be able to hear me now, though you may not be able to see me. I'm working on the seeing part, so give me just a second. And I'm gonna just, basically all I'm gonna do is put my face up there. So give me just a second, and I'm just gonna toss in It's true. I'm gonna just put my face giant on the screen. We'll make this nice and simple as I kind of chat with all of you. This looks to be this pro cam here. Dunsy Dunsy. I don't know why it's not showing, but transition? No. Weird. Okay, that didn't show. Video capture device, please. Anytime now. Let me close that. I don't know what's happening. So I'll get to chatting. So I'm very excited because I've been working with... I'm upside down. I'm not sure why that is. Completely upside down. Boop. There we go. Don't know why it's not showing though. It should be showing. Maybe it's because I'm at the back of things? Nope. I don't know what's up. Oh, I know why. There we go. Let's try that out for size. Look at that. I did it. I'm a professional. Okay. Hey, gang. I'm really excited to chat with you about a few things. We're going to play catch up. I've got so much to talk to you about. It's like not even funny. So let me just move this bit goal here over to the side and we're going to transition. So, and now you guys see me again. So first off, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for dealing with all my tech things today. But let's spend the next 20 minutes chatting about some really fun and exciting things. So first things first, I'm going to reach down here in my super secret bag and pull out some stuff. So you guys, if you can't tell, I'm a bit obsessed with Evil Hat Productions. If you haven't checked out their products, you definitely should. One of the new ones that is coming out now, it is currently available on Roll20. So you can get the Roll20 build for this. But you can go ahead and pre-order your deck. Now, my deck was so early that they didn't even have a box for it. They just sent it to me. So I am very excited to reveal this incredible game. Nope, I'm upside down. Called For the Queen. So For the Queen, it's awesome. So For the Queen, is this incredible no prep, no GM game. You guys know I'm obsessed with GM-less games. It's very simple. You get an instruction card and a set of instructions along the way. But they're basically tell you this. All of you don't sit down with a character in mind or anything. You sit at a table. All of you are escorting your queen. And then they have what is known as the Queen deck, which are by far some of the most beautiful pieces of artwork I have seen in an RPG in a long time. So check this out. All of these beautiful queen cards, right? So you randomly draw who your queen is. Like, okay, I want this to be our queen today. Look at that. Thank you for that follow. So check out this bitchin' card. Okay, so you draw your queen. The queen, you have to escort her while the war is going on across the sea. And once you have escorted her, the game takes place during travel. And then it's as simple as using these red cards, which are question prompts, right? So they're on the deck. You go around and the first person draws. The first question says, when did you know you were in love with the queen? And then the game is just you playing through answering the questions, which you can do player to player, like a true role play. I've played this game where it was like an interview, which is really cool. There is no right or wrong way to play it. It's just an open tabletop game. I've played it a couple times. We played it here at MomoCon this weekend, just shooting the shit. What I really like about it is the most important card is this one. The queen is under attack. Do you defend her? This is the card that ends the game. It actually prompts you to say, well, do you want to play a 30-minute game? Or do you want to play an hour-long game? When you shuffle your question deck, you just slot this one. Like if you want to play a shorter one, you randomly slot it near the top. Or you randomly slot it near the end, depending on how long of a game. I have played this game like a soap opera. Like I said, I played this game very interview style. But what I find one that I really appreciate, and I'll show this to you as well, what I really appreciate is that there is an X card. This card goes on the table when you play. You can tap the X card anytime if you want to remove something from the game, if you want to avoid discussing something in the game, or if you simply want to say, you know what? I don't like that question, or I don't think that that's relevant. So I love this game. So again, you can get your copy of For the Queen right now, pre-ordered, and they ship out, I believe, in June. So go ahead and get them. They're supposed to come in a really beautiful box. I didn't get the box. But you can check them out. Right there is some information. So thank you for your interest in For the Queen. So go check them out. Evil Hat Productions, totally obsessed. I will be running, for those of you headed to Gen Con, I will be running a few games of For the Queen at Gen Con. They're unofficial, they're not ticketed, so you'll have to find me and just hop in. But an actual X card, yeah. So yes, I am in love on the nth scale and degree. So, next, let's see, what else is happening? What else have I been playtesting and looking through? Well, I haven't officially announced what our next Patreon supported game is going to be after Witch Girls. I've been thinking on a lot of different stuff, one of which has my fancy, but there's also a potential. I have had a shout out from a lot of you about running a Vampire the Masquerade campaign here on my channel. Now, for those of you that don't know me, and maybe those of you that do, you know that I am not in any way, shape, or form. I don't take my DMing too serious. So if I run a World of Darkness campaign, it's not going to be what you expect. And that is all I'm going to say about that for now. But the best way to get involved and to have the first announcement, or to even be able to vote on what the next Patreon supported game is to join Patreon. So you can do that for as little as $2. And when you join Patreon, you gain access to things like monthly chats with me and My Little Pony World of Darkness. I might pitch my idea to all of you. I might do that, Max. But when you join my Patreon, you gain access, like I said, to things like first announcements, first look at art, characters, any kind of special videos I create and make, as well as monthly chats with me. I do like an open Monday chat where we just talk and catch up. That's actually this upcoming Monday. So hop into, if you grab Patreon before Monday, you can join that chat, which we do in my Discord. There are tiers that go all the way up to what I call the GM player tier, where I will actually GM a private game for you and your friends once a month, as long as you stay in that tier. I've got a couple of those games running and they're going great. Also, if you prefer to have me as a player at your table, you can basically just play to have me come in. I also do one-on-one, if you would rather do like GM planning sessions. Like if you're like, I don't need you to run my game, and I have my players, I just need some support. There's also a tier for that. So I am available, I guess is what I'm saying. And I'm very passionate about telling stories and being with people that tell stories. So you will be able to see me actually on a panel talking about world building at Gen Con this year. North by Northwest, our podcast, is hosting that one. We're working on the rest of the panelists, but that will be Saturday at 4 p.m. Saturday at 4 p.m. at Gen Con, I will be sitting on a panel talking about collaborative storytelling and world building, both from a GM and a character perspective, which should be a lot of fun. Now, for the news I know you have all been waiting for, let's talk D&D Live. So I had the great joy and complete honor of being asked with my podcast, North by Northwest, to attend D&D Live last weekend. For those of you that don't know, D&D Live is the annual event that Wizards of the Coast hosts to announce their upcoming products. You can watch those product announcements on their YouTube, so please feel free, if you need to hear it from the mouth of them, you can totally tune in. But I thought what I would do is tell you guys what I'm most excited about, because I was there for the opening ceremonies and I saw all of the new products, right? So if you don't know, the next big module is Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus, which is basically the seventh ring of hell. So the story will be taking place during the Blood Wars. It starts out at Baldur's Gate, so for all of you that are old hardcore D&D fans, you definitely have, thank you, you definitely have that core. Like, Baldur's Gate has so much lore behind it. So you start out in this scummy city of Baldur's Gate, and through a series of strange events, you get lobbed through a portal into the seventh layer of hell. And when you get to hell, the Blood Wars are going on. Now, for those of you that don't know, the Blood Wars have been going on for millennia. The Blood Wars are basically the wars between the devils and the demons. And as long as the Blood Wars are going on, the devils and the demons are far too interested in themselves to make it to our plane. So we have no issue with the Blood Wars happening, because it keeps them busy, and it means that they won't be coming to destroy our world. Yeah, millions of years, right, Max? Like, just millions of years the Blood Wars have been going on. So you get dropped into, some people are saying Avernus, same difference, right? So you get dropped into Avernus, and there are quite a few things. So picture, it's very Mad Maxian. One of the things that I'm most excited about this module is Wizards is finally releasing official rules for vehicles. Because in Avernus, they travel via war machines, these giant rigs, these giant war rigs, which are powered by something called soul coins. If you make it to Avernus with your soul and die, when you die, your soul takes a physical form. It manifests into a coin. You will be able to buy soul coins on them, like actually buy them. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Official rules for vehicles and travel. So you're going to get things like official rules for adding boats to your campaigns or large-scale vehicle combat. Those things are coming in, which is pretty cool. But these soul coins are basically the currency of hell. They can be traded for things. You can earn your soul back. So let's say you lose your soul, you can get your soul back by going and collecting a coin. But they also power the war machines, which means you have to kill people and get souls to be able to power your war machines. True story. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So if you would actually, the game that I played, our podcast played, well, I say Tiffany and I from the podcast played with D&D is for Nerds, which is a podcast out of Australia. Very, very popular, much bigger than our podcast is. And we actually were on a war machine. So if you want to see some of that, you can actually check out, if you go to D&D Wizards of the Coast YouTube channel, hit their playlist. They have one that says D&D Live Stage 2. Our podcast was on Stage 2, and we were the second game of the day, so that's pretty easy to understand. So yeah, pretty neat stuff. But in addition to the next big module, which I know everybody is super stoked about, there's a few other things that I should quickly talk about that I'm most excited about. So first off, D&D is going to be, or Wizards of the Coast is releasing official D&D dice sets. They're much better than before. They come with 2d20s, 4d6 for your roguish types, and I have a set. They gave us a set, which is pretty cool. The ones that are coming out for this module are really neat. On the table, they look black, but when you hold them up to the light, they're actually transparent. They kind of look like obsidian. So currently, Max, I am streaming from MomoCon. I have about 7 minutes left in this booth that they have gifted me, which is pretty cool. I wish I could turn the camera around. Maybe I will, and I'll secretly show you guys some of the happenings before I peace out. So that's really neat. But the one I am most excited about, like without a shadow of a doubt, they are releasing the Essentials kit. I'm sure you've heard of that before. It's a box kit that they've put out. The Essential kit has gone over a lot of new undertakings. But the really exciting thing is with the new Essentials kit, they're launching a new Phandelver module. So if you loved the Lost Mines of Phandelver, they're releasing a second storyline. So if you've never played the Lost Mines of Phandelver, you can take that module, the new module coming in the Essentials kit, and merge them together to create a sandbox and play an entire campaign set in Phandelver, which I am actually considering running. I am so excited for the Essentials kit. In addition, inside of the Essentials kit, there are a series of item cards. So as a GM, especially when you're playing with new characters, which is really what new players, which is what the Essential kit is for, you can give them their magic items on a card with the stats, with the things. It is super duper cool. So I'm very much looking forward to the new release of the Essentials kit, which I will probably be buying. And for those of you that have little ones in your life, you'll be very excited to know that they are also releasing a new player's handbook and monster manual that is fit for children and people with reading disabilities. So instead of the book literally has no stats in it. It's not about stats. It teaches you how to build a character based on story. They are so super cool. So they have redone, like for the monster manual, they've redone the danger, they're calling it the danger scale, so it's 1 to 5. It's very visual and graphic, so there's no charts, there's not a lot of reading. So for example, they'll have a picture of a beholder, right? And then they'll have arrows out from each of the eyes and tell you what each of the eyes do. It's really, really easy, and it's meant for young audiences and people that struggle reading large amounts of text to be able to dive into the player's handbook or dive into a monster manual and do exactly what the rest of us can do. I want to applaud Wizards for this. This is an important step in accessibility for them, and I have never been more excited. So, with my last 5 minutes, let me turn this camera around very quickly. Oh, and I'll tell you guys an embarrassing story here too in just a second. Let me see if I can get this turned around. Hang on. I totally can do this. All right, here's out the front of my booth. Right? So there's the con floor. Right? Check it. People walking by. People have walked by all day waving at me. So directly behind me, you can't see, is behind me is the actual like gameplay like section, like the video game section. So yeah, just like amazing. Yes, I GM'd a whole game with all of that. You guys should have seen people like walking by. One guy drew a penis on the window. Like, there was a lot of distraction. It's an amazing thing that I actually made it this far. So, for those of you that are tuning in, again, thank you. I want to take a second to encourage you to go follow all the amazing people that played in the game today, but also go check out some of that cool content. And for my last embarrassing story, so Thursday night, D&D Beyond hosted this killer event for all of the talent. It was a private event at the Speakeasy in LA. What I didn't know when I showed up is that it was open bar. So because it was open bar, Dot decided that it was cool to just drink a lot. So I did. And of course, all these celebrities show up, right? All these celebrities show up, including, a couple. Mark Meir was there, so I had a chat with Mark Meir. He and I may or may not be working on something. And a few other celebrities. I'm sure I embarrassed myself one too many times. It's fine, whatever. Matthew Lillard was there. And true story, Matthew Lillard's ex-girlfriend, when he was in college, taught me acting and was my casting coach. And so I got drunk as crap and walked balls to the wall straight up to Matthew Lillard. I didn't even introduce myself. I was like, I know your ex-girlfriend. This is why you can't take Dot anywhere. That's all I'm going to say about that conversation, because that's how it started. And last but certainly not least, I want to say you will definitely see me at Gen Con for those of you going. And more importantly, there's a very good chance, at about a 98% right now, that I will be running games all weekend for Steamforge. So if you have not signed up for Steamforge games, when you do, more than likely I will be DMing them. 2 games a day for all 4 days. So there's a lot of opportunity to come play and to come check them out. And I just want to thank Steamforge for the opportunity. Oh, I was about to say, let me tell you, it takes a lot to get Dot drunk. My constitution is that of a dwarf. True story. It takes a lot. But that's a story for another day. So with my 2 minutes left before they kick me out of my booth, I'm going to get out of here. Cool. And go back to living my best con life. I will see you guys at 5 o'clock right here on the channel for the Owl of Lycia. We'll be back with a little wholesome fantasy and a little less occult magic. But let's go raid somebody. Who's live right now? Oh, Roll For It's live, of course, my home away from home. So let's just go raid our family over on Roll For It. Go show all of your love. Make them feel like they're part of the Dot Lot. And I will see you guys at 5 p.m. for more dice rolling. Until then, don't do anything I wouldn't do. Or just make sure you drink it out of a jug and confront Matthew Lillard about his ex-girlfriend. Okay, bye! And we are raiding now!